the golden keys, and they asked you to steal the Doom Raiders guitar back from the Castellanters. The Castellanters have put it in somewhere in El Torchel Academy. Um, whatever Whenever y'all do get this golden axe, which is a magical loot, you could keep it for yourself. You could give it back to the Doom Raiders. You could bargain the Castellanters with it. It really is just a powerful magic loot that you get to use however you want. I imagine this story arc taking like 3 weeks in game while y'all pretend to be substitute teachers at this academy to try and find out where this golden axe is. Uh, this story arc will also let you learn a lot about the Castellanters and your new frenemy, Schemo Weirdbottle, who y'all have an alliance with. He has promised to help y'all get to the Golden Vault if he can take a portion of the money to buy back his friend's soul. About 10 years ago, the Doom Raiders songwriter Froggy died under odd circumstances. They said they made the worst deal of their life, and Froggy died. And for some reason, they can't just go and resurrect him normally. They have to buy back his soul from someone. Y'all have speculated about what happened, but you haven't really gotten confirmation about that from Schemo Weirdbottle. Schemo Weirdbottle told you basically everything the Doom Raiders knew about the Vault of Dragons. They made a deal and found out where the three keys to get into the Vault of Dragons are. There's the bismuth heart that is inside the artificer's chest. There are the three red dragon scales that are on Lady Growlhound. Lady Growlhound is an ancient red dragon in disguise, and a dozen teeth of a doppelganger. Schemo revealed that all the bartenders at the Yawning Portal, like Bonnie, are doppelgangers. Y'all went to El Torchel Academy to scope it out. The El Torchel Villa has banned anyone who is not of noble blood or a noble servant, and El Torchel Academy is hiring teachers to teach this semester at El Torchel Academy. Y'all threw on some quick disguises and made up a story about you being from the south of Faerun from Candlekeep and that you were interested in teaching positions. You got a tour of the school, and y'all are about to do an interview to see if you can actually land this job as a substitute teacher. Another thing that happened was Huel had a vision, kind of like the vision that the raven and the salesman gave him about the artificer falling from the sky, except this vision was of a young woman in a gold dress singing, "Save me, get me the hells out of here." And Huel heard in that vision, "If you kill her, you will destroy the Castellanter's plans." When y'all got to the school, you noticed that there was a girl running around in a golden dress, and her name was Elzinra Castellanter, the 8-year-old daughter of Lord and Lady Castellanter. This school is very well guarded. The city is responding to all the crime, some of which y'all have committed, and they have increased the amount of guards in this school. Maybe one of the things you could do over the next 3 weeks is kind of lower the amount of guards that are here in the school. Does anyone have any questions before we get started?
And she was riding Thorgan's shoulders for some reason,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
we were
Y-
disguised as uh, a teacher.
Yeah,
Got
and she made yourself look like a short half elf and then stood on Thorgrim's shoulders so you look like a normal half elf.
I see.
And y'all are wearing a cloak and pretending to be one person. Huel, I believe, disguised himself as a half orc because he wants to be the botanical arts teacher. Schemo looks like himself, but he made himself look a little bit different. He made his skin a different shade of blue, made his ears and nose longer, and made his hair different so he doesn't look quite like Schemo Weirdbottle. And Blinken, when y'all ran into Milton, panicked and used a disguise kit to make it look like he was breaking out in hives, and then he left the school.
Oh,
hmm Let's see, I even wrote down what y'all wanted to do. Schemo is going to try to be the bardic arts teacher, Huel the botanical arts teacher, Inchi and Thorgren applied for magic defense, and Blinken applied for guild arts. Does that sound right to everybody?
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty then. Let's go ahead and start with Blinken since he's separated from the group and I want to get him back into the school. Blinken, you shoved your way out the door right here, the front door to El Tortrol Academy. You passed by the guard and this Griffin cavalry rider that they have here guarding the school. One of the last things you heard was the artificer's boss, the Blackstaff, promised that if any emergency happened at the school, she would show up within a minute to protect the students, these noble children. You shove your way through the doors and you step outside. It is the middle of the day, about 3 p.m. The sun is still high, shining right in your face. You're surrounded by a big cobblestone courtyard and guards and nobles walking around, going about their business. Blinken, what would you like to do?
Um, I'm gonna. I'll go in eventually. I just don't want to go in right away because I don't know if, or at least Lincoln wouldn't know if the guy would recognize him. So um, I'll
Mhm.
give it. I'll give it. I don't know. 20 minutes or so, and then go back in and talk to someone to see if I could get a an interview going for the guild.
Mhm.
So,
I believe you were going to step outside and get an entirely different disguise because Milton is going to be the etiquette teacher here for a few weeks. So he's going to be here every day with you.
all right. Yeah, if that's the case, I'll probably then, if that's the case, is look for like I don't I would think there's no shop that's like right here to give me something. So I would have to look around and get something.
Yeah, you'd have to exit the villa and go to a store. You're in the castle ward of Waterdeep, so you'll be able to find a tailor pretty easily, or a potion shop or a magic shop or something like that.
Okay, so I'll do that. Just kind of walk around and maybe preferred a magic shop and see if they got any magical items like a disguise potion or some shit. I don't know.
Okay. As you're walking around, you're looking for different shops and you recognize a sign. Irony's Ironics shop. Irony was the exorcist that you hired to help you deal with Lif. She runs a shop here in town that sells basic magic items. You shove in the door, and then there's a purple-skinned tiefling woman behind the counter, wearing all black and purple, with some tattoos on her arms. And she looks up and says, "Hello, you can peruse to your light." Oh, hey, it's you, Ghost Bar guy. When's that bar gonna open up?
Oh, soon-ish. We're still working out the kinks. We gotta do some more repairs. I'll talk to my guild people, see if I could get some stuff over there. But importantly, I'm wondering if you got any sort of items that could help me with a sort of disguise. And I'm looking, decent because the idea is at least to, or if you know something about like getting new clothes or something, because I'm trying to get into um, a job that kind of tutors people and stuff. So I want to make sure I look kind of fit for it. So
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. You want to make yourself look a bit more professional
yeah.
or completely different. Whatever you want to do, man, it's not my business. So I have disguise kits. Those are 25 gold pieces. And I also have a potion of disguise self, if you want to use that.
Okay. And how? I mean, for a disguise kit, how long does it last?
Mm, well, it's like makeup and hair dye and stuff, so I imagine it would stay on until you took it off.
Okay.
Whereas the disguise potion spell or disguise self spell slash potion lasts only an hour,
Okay. So if that's the case,
which
I'll
is his limit.
buy um I mean, the important thing is obviously getting to look like you said. So I think the disguise kit might be better for me. And he said it's 25 gold each, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
She says, "Yeah, man, you could take this. You could make yourself look like some really knowledgeable halfling or something like that, or a deep gnome, or just a different type of gnome."
Okay. I'll let me check here. I go through my little bag of coins here. I'll take two, and then I'm sure I can make use of it, and I'll let you know also when we're gonna open. So I know where you're at now. Obviously, I see your shop, so I'll let you know whenever our little bar will be open.
She says, "Yeah, man, that sounds great. And hey, I feel bad because I didn't really do a lot last time you paid me. So how about this? I'll give you three for 65."
All right, deal. I'll do that.
Fantastic. She goes in the back. She gets three disguise self potions. She puts them in a little cloth bag and hands it to you. And she says, "Do you have like a cover identity made already? Do you got a name and stuff like that all worked out?"
Currently no. But I don't think it'll matter too much. Matter of you know getting a job, so I don't think they care too much about my name, unless you could think of one. But I don't have one right now.
Says if you're gonna go as a halfling, put half somewhere in your name. Half foot, half pint, something like that. Really sell it. And remember, it's all about confidence.
All right, noted. I will see do it, and thank you for that. I'll see you around. I'm sure I'll wing by, like I said, whenever at least we get close to opening up, and we'll go from there.
Excellent. Good man. You have a great day. And she goes back to flipping through her book. Blinken, you exit the store and begin making your way back to the academy, I assume.
Yeah, at that point, I'll probably eventually mess with my disguise kit, one of them, and put sorta almost look like me, but a couple of features distinct. That's hopefully hides my identity from Milton. So maybe like a couple of warts, you know,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
You could just make yourself really ugly permanently.
That
Disguise yourself. That'd be great.
would be
Every
funny.
school has to have like that one like ugly ass teacher.
Yeah, he's like the substitute teacher, not the real teacher.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
there we go. All right, so fading back to everybody else in El Torchel Academy, y'all are in the grand dining hall getting ready for your interviews. Schema Weirdbottle has adopted this air of a noble teacher. His posture is no longer slouched, and he doesn't look tired, and he doesn't look like he's angry at the world. He sits upright with a lot of confidence, his arms folded in his lap, bowing his head as if he's in a slight meditation. Um, Huel, you look like a half orc, correct? Describe this half orc disguise you have on.
Yeah, he's got the two big honking teeth, like the two teeth on the bottom jaw. He's got the orange hair, like tied up in the back. And
Hmm.
yeah, he's got like just plain commoner's clothing, like a plain white t-shirt and brown pants. Like he hasn't gotten into his teaching attire.
I think you
Is
said
this
you had a
still a
pair
3 foot
of
orc?
coveralls and stuff to make it look like you worked in a garden.
Oh yeah, like yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, how tall is this half orc that you're pretending to be?
Oh, he's tall. He's like 6 feet. He's huge.
Okay, remember, the way disguise self works is you only look like that. If someone came and like tried to touch the orc's face, their hand would just pass through it because your actual face isn't there.
Gotcha. Like where he is
Mm-hmm.
isn't really where he is, like because of
Mm-hmm.
the
This
spell.
was one of the ways y'all were able to spot Zaraj the Hunter when she was disguised as a human. You touched the human, and it was way bigger and beefier than it looked like. Okay. Thorgren and Inchi. what are y'all doing? As you wait to be interviewed.
Are we alone? Like, are we just with our friends?
In this room, there's Huel, Schemo, Thorgren, Inchi, and then this bard from the Sea Maidens Fair that is playing some soft music on a lute.
Okay, and she whispers to his crotch, hey, turn away from the bard. Just turn away.
I turn
Look
to
this
the
way.
bird.
No, the other way.
I'm gonna slap you.
And she
Slap
kicks
your
him.
thigh.
And she kicks him in the ribs. No, the other way.
No. Lie.
And she opens up the top part of a trench coat and talks down to his crotch. All right, fine. Look, all I was gonna say is if I kick you with my left foot, we go forward. If I kick you with my
How about
right
you
foot,
don't kick me?
if I stomp on your shoulder, we sit down.
Don't forget, I'm like twice your size. Don't kick me. Or
And
you're
don't
gonna be the one
forget,
on the bottom.
I'm the head. I'm in charge.
Well, we're thinking with the other head now.
Huel, Schemo leans over to you and says, 25 gold coins, bet that they don't make it through the day without giving themselves away.
25.
Kicks Morgan again.
I'll take that bet, and he'll shake his hand like on the down low, you know.
All right, yeah, he shakes your hand. The sleeves he has on his arms are like very fancy gnome garments, not what he normally wears. And they actually like go beyond his hand, so he pulls his sleeve up and he shakes your hand. And as y'all do that, a little cat hops up on the table between you, and it walks up here and it walks down there, and it like sniffs at Schemo, and then it hops over here to this table, and it sniffs at Thorgren's feet, and it stands up on the table and then sniffs at where Inchi's feet would be, and it goes, it hisses at you.
It hisses.
It hisses at you. It goes, "Sss, sss." I
I'm
don't know
gonna
if
turn
y'all can
around and
hear that.
fart at it.
Okay, I heard it that time.
Okay.
Okay, well, in that case, Inchi casts fear on the cat.
My God. The cat
Let me
needs
pull
to
it up.
roll a constitution check, I think.
Yeah, hold on, let me pull it up. Think that
I
did
think
it.
it was a will save.
Why is it not pulling up? Yeah, it's a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. What does it have to beat?
14.
Wisdom, so this cat doesn't add anything. And when you do that, you see what you see every time you cast fear. You see this cat's greatest fear, and it appears to be some kind of man in noble robes with a goatee and fine hair and a condescending look at his face. And he raises his hand backwards as if it's going to backhand the cat. And the cat scurries off and runs under this table that Huel and Schemo are at.
Not
Then, uh-huh,
not a good,
and
good.
then these doors at the front here open and three people step in. The headmaster of the school, Lady Fea L. Torchel, Lord Victoro Castellanter, and Milton. And Inchi, shocking to you, that spectral image you just saw of this noble man with the goatee is this person right here, Lord Victoro Castellanter. That cat was very afraid of Victoro Castellanter. Lady Fea steps forward and says, "Hello and welcome. Oh, it's so good to have you all here. We are going to interview you to make sure that you are of the utmost quality and ready to guide the young noble minds of Waterdeep. Who would like to go first?"
Oh, I'm ready to go, lady.
Yes, and I'm terribly sorry. I've forgotten your name already. What was it?
Oh, it's Mr. Grun, ma'am.
Mr. Grun. Fantastic. And you are going to be the magical defense teacher, right?
Uh-huh.
She says, well, the Lord Victoro here is a very accomplished sorcerer, so he and I will do your interview. Please come over here to the headmaster's table, and we'll ask you a few questions, and then we'll get on with the magic duel to see how prepared you really are for a fight.
And she kicks Thorgrin in the ribs with his left foot.
Mm-hmm.
Ah! I follow, and I
All right.
pinch Inchi in the leg.
All right. Y'all can together move your tokens up there. I'm not gonna. Y'all can
Yeah,
just
yeah.
do that. As y'all walk up there, the jester bard lowers the volume of his music. He is keeping it very soft and serene, just kind of keeping some background noise going through all of this. Uh, as y'all walk up there, Milton comes and takes a
Thank
seat
you.
right here at all these other tables. And Blinken, are you ready to re-enter the school? Yes. So you come back in, your warts look a lot like more permanent now and more disfiguring. They change the shape of your face just a little bit. Did you change anything else about you? Your hair color, skin color, clothes? Okay. As you are walking up towards the area you know the interviews will be, this door right here to your side opens, and the young Elzira Castellanter runs out with another student, another young girl. They're giggling about something and they run off across the hall, her gold dress trailing behind her. Oh. Mm-hmm. Okay. You come in. Where would you like to sit? Fantastic. Milton gives you a polite nod when you walk in, and he sits down and he gets the creases out of his pants, and he pulls out a book and he sets it on the table, but he leans over to the three of you and says, my, I was really worried that we were not going to be able to fill all the staffing positions this semester. That is why I stepped in to be the etiquette teacher. So I'm very happy to have you scholars from Candlekeep come and aid us. I look forward to getting to know each and every one of you.
We're gonna have to kill Milton.
Okay, back to the top up here. Victoro Castellanter sternly looks at you, Inchi, right into your eyes, and he says, I will have you know that my family comes from a long line of sorcerers. Galadriel Castellanter is a hero to these people, and I have his blood running through my veins. So I will be very skeptical if you are not of the utmost quality. My own children go here, and I want them only to have the best education. Have I made that clear?
Shouldn't your blood be the only one going from your veins, sir?
Just nod.
He, dude, he looks confused.
And after that, and she also nods.
No talking, just nodding.
I do like a defense teacher with some spine, though some respect needs to come with it. And Lady Thea says, Lord Victoro, please let me ask the questions and then you can test their magical might. Stepping forward, so, Master Grung, tell us, where did you learn your magic arts? Are you a wizard, sorcerer?
Oh yeah, I learned it from a book. I'm a wizard, all right.
Says,
We're fucked.
were you trained by? It is possible for you to fail this interview, just for the record.
We're
She says,
fucked.
Were you trained by any kind of master? Did you study under someone like Elminster?"
Well, she was a soup master. But I don't know if she helped with the magic element of my and I do air quotes training, ma'am.
Every word you say, their eyebrows get higher and higher on their forehead. Uh,
Just ask him to test us. Just ask him to test us.
You can test us if you want.
Victorio says, and Lady Fea says, "Well, it's not so much that we doubt your ability, but your ability to understand the interactions with the weave and convey those to the students. We don't want them merely to be able to cast spells, but to know what spells they are casting. Does that make sense, Master Grung?"
It does not help that I fucking dropped my phone during that. Yeah, I think I
Nod.
fully understand.
Just nod.
Victorio says, "Fine. If you wish to be tested instead of questioned, I will throw 3 spells your way, and I want you to defend yourself with your utmost capability. If you can impress me, perhaps I will forgive your lack of formal education."
Okay, Inchi, I have a
Oh,
plan. How we can do this. You ready?
and she nods.
Okay. Prepare
Which
yourself when
Thorgan
he's
could not see, but go ahead.
when we do that, when he gets to cast the first spell, I want you to cast like a smoke screen, and then you're gonna hop off my shoulders, right? And then
Okay.
when the smoke dissipates in his spell, like he casts the spell, he's gonna miss us, right? Because we're gonna step to the side. And I want at you to say, haha, now which one's the real me?
Mm,
And then get ready to cast that again. And then hop back on my shoulders.
mhm,
Okay?
mhm,
Okay.
Alright. So Victoro steps forward and he extends his hand and he says, "The test begins right now." He extends his hand for a handshake, and Lady Fea quickly raises her eyebrows and takes a couple steps back. The tension in the air increases dramatically. It's thick. Lord Victoro is holding out his hand.
Pinch,
What do you,
pinch.
what do you do?
I don't fucking see a spell for smokescreen or something.
It would be like minor illusion.
Minor illusion. Weird sense.
Yeah, you can use minor illusion to create like a puff of smoke.
Yeah, sure. That's a
Or
cantrip.
yeah.
So then, and she casts minor illusion to cast smoke all around him.
You create smoke all around you, you say?
Yes.
All right. As you create that smoke, Lord Victoro startles and he steps back to defend himself and he touches this table right here with that hand he had extended. And lightning springs from his hand and touches the table. He was going to try to trick you with a shocking grasp. But you were able to throw him off of his feet and start the battle on the upper hand. So, what were y'all planning to do after you cast this smoke?
Okay, so in my mind, Inchi made enough smoke to cover us head to toe, right?
Yes. Yes.
So, I'm going to lift Inchi and put him down 5 feet to my left,
Okay.
and then I'm going to step 5 feet to the right. So there's a 5 foot gap between us, even if I
Okay.
have to hop on the table.
That's perfect.
So I'm going to separate between us, and I'm going to have the cloak on the floor between us that we were wearing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Inchi is where he is. I'm where I am now. And basically, the plan is to confuse him and make him think that we split, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like we did like a polymorphs or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like a half elf looking guy,
Uh-huh.
and
Do
me.
you also look like a half elf?
Yeah,
I
and attempting to help, could I cast Major Image onto Thorgrim?
that would have been something we should have done before. I think,
Okay.
unless Mike allows it.
I mean,
I
this is
mean,
in the
you'd have
midst
to
of
end
smoke.
your.
I'd say.
Can you cast major image and minor illusion at the same time?
No, that's a good
Or
point. I think. Oh
you could
wait,
get rid of the smoke and change him in the confusion.
I don't see concentration on minor. Oh wait, no, it's disguise self.
No, you want to keep disguise self on yourself, because they
Got.
strictly prohibited goblins.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay,
Nah, we'll wing it. We got this.
gotcha.
Disguise self is not a concentration spell.
No.
Okay, I was about to look that up because I was not seeing it in my
Oh.
spell
No.
thing.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Okay, so then I could cast a Major Image on Thorgrim.
Okay, yep. So you can actually do all of this at once. Cantrip illusion, not concentration. So yeah. So Lord Victoria steps back, he touches the table and shocks it with lightning a bit. The smoke fills this area and then dissipates. And as Victoria waves it out of the air, he is now looking at two short half elves that look exactly the same. And he goes, "Interesting.
Well,
Very
which one is the
interesting."
real me, Mister?
And he says,
I say it at the
"Well."
same time, by the way. Like, which one's the real me?
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Make an intimidation check, both of you. If
Okay.
y'all can get close to the same thing, I'll say that you said it together.
Oh god, intimidation's like my good stat. Or is it?
Work, damn you! Don't make me get my dice back out. Come on.
Do we have advantage? Or
Sure,
no?
sure.
We have advantage.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Okay.
21.
y'all kind of threw him on the back feet. Okay, yeah, so with that 21, yep, y'all are able to say it together. And he looks confused and intrigued, and he says, "Well, I assume whichever one of you takes actual damage from this." And he casts Magic Missile at a. What spell slot would it be to cast 4? I think that'd be. Yeah, at a second level, and he sends 2 hurtling in each of your directions. Magic Missile will hit automatically unless you can do something to stop it real quick.
Mm, okay.
Counter spell, running behind something,
Well,
splitting yourself into 4 people. I don't know, whatever y'all want to do.
first off, I need to get rid of all my level 3 spell slots because I already used all that up. For all good it did. Ability.
Oh yeah, it's happening like 20 feet away. While
Well,
they're thinking of how to dodge that, Milton says, "Oh, I've tried to get Lord Victorio to stop playing with his food before he eats it, but some people never grow up."
Okay, hold on. Let me read the description.
well, I know what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Thorgrin, you have 2 coming your way. What do you do?
I'm going to eat it.
You just gotta eat it? Okay.
Well, I
In-
don't have
The
shield, right? So I can't
the the
cast
missile?
magic missile.
mm-hmm. Magic Missile.
Oh, okay. No, no, never mind. I get what he's saying. That's what I was thinking. knowing Brax, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm just so trying to find hair levels when you cast a spell using. No, I'm gonna save that. Okay. Uh, Inchi's going to try in invisibility.
Just a
So
second.
are you letting it hit you, then you're casting invisibility?
I gave y'all a reaction to this because this isn't like actual combat. It's a test of your skills. So I gave you a reaction.
Okay, if
Oh, so, okay.
yeah, I'm gonna assume that I just cast invisibility and try to dodge this magic missile.
Okay.
I'm gonna eat it and tackle him.
Okay. All right. So Thorgrin, you are going to take 2d4 of damage. You took 6 damage straight to the chest. Inchi, you immediately made yourself invisible and moved, I assume, behind one of these tables. And since he can't
Sure.
see you anymore, the magic missiles sail right on past you into the wall. It is now y'all's turn. Thorgrin, you already know what you're going to do, so
Yep.
go ahead and tell me.
Rage jump off the table and tackle him.
Okay, you're going to need to roll a grapple check to hold him to the ground.
Athletics?
Yes, strength check.
15's not bad.
All right, Lord Victoro, as you tackle him, it's a nat 1. He is a lord. He has never had to do physical labor in his life. He seems to have been weighted on hand and foot by Milton his entire life, so he goes down like a fucking featherweight. Inchi, what would you like to do?
Inchi wants to hop right back on Thorgrin's shoulders and
Mm-hmm.
cast disguise self again to like meld back in so that we also look like one once more.
Okay.
And then he speaks down to the Lord. Hey, stop attacking me. This is just an interview, right?
A magical defense interview. That's what this was. You knew this
That's
was going to happen.
that's still what he runs with.
Okay.
Um,
Uh,
I just want to retcon something.
uh-huh.
So I do tackle him. I do dive off the table, and as I'm diving, I'm just gonna be like, magic for defense isn't everything, and that's when I just like drop him.
All right. So you have him on the floor, you have him grappled. He can't get up and move, but he can still do actions and make attacks. And he says, "Yes, sometimes the best defense is a good offense." And then he looks directly at you, Inchi, and his eyes turn into mouths that have dozens of sharp teeth in them. He casts Eye Bite.
Okay.
Inchi, roll a wisdom saving throw.
14.
14.
You made it. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong one.
The spell save DC for Victoro Castellanter is 17. He is a high
Fuck.
level sorcerer. He is a 12th level sorcerer, actually. So, Inchi, you are not able to resist. Hmm. Inchi, you have the incredible feeling that you should dash away, run away from Victoro as much as you can. And even though you have this feeling, your feet move on Thorgrin's shoulders, but you're not connected to the ground. You're sitting on Thorgrin's shoulders, and he's holding on to you. So you feel panicked, but you don't actually move. Thorgrin, what do you do?
That's a nice trick, bucko. At which point, with my free hand, I'm going to rip some cloth off,
Mm-hmm.
shove it in his mouth. Can't cast verbally now. And he's grappled.
So y'all are falling and twisting over each other. Thorgrin, you're using your rage to hold on to Inchi and do this. It's all very confusing, and Victoro is astounded because from his perspective, Inchi or y'all just resisted one of his most powerful spells and it had no effect. And then suddenly he's on the ground, he can't move, and there's a cloth shoved in his mouth, and he can't cast spells. And Lady Fea steps forward and says, "Okay, okay, I believe that is enough. 3 rounds of spells is all you wanted, correct, Lord Victoro?" And through the gag in his mouth, he goes, "Urgh."
And she pulls it
Thorgrin,
out. Speak up.
Gonna drop rage, look at him. Inchi, I put a sock in
wh-
his mouth. That
And
wasn't.
and then she pulled it out.
Victoro's eyes go back to normal, and Inchi, you no longer feel afraid of him or feel like you should run away from him. And as the gag leaves his mouth and Thorgrin lets him go, he stands up to his feet and he takes a moment to adjust his clothes and get any dust off and wrinkles out. Stands up and he says, "Well, that was certainly interesting. An ability to think on your feet, keep your opponent guessing, and shut down his ability to do spells. Whatever Soup Master taught you, I believe taught you very well. Interesting. Most interesting indeed.
Yeah, she
Lady
was my
Fea,
mommy.
Lady Fea, despite their lack of formal education, or despite this person's lack of formal education, I want them teaching my children how to think on their feet just like this. Good show, gentlemen, or good show, fella. Very good show. Please take your seat."
Inchi, can I have my sock
And,
back? My foot's cold.
and she opens up the collar of his trench coat and like drops it down.
Just drops it down the neck of his trench coat.
Yeah. And
Victoro says to Lady Fea, "Make sure that they wash their clothes." Disgusting. Ugh. Uh,
and she nudges Thorgan with his right heel to turn around, whether he understands it or not.
okay. Lady Fea says, "And that makes or Master Grung our new magical defense teacher. Congratulations, congratulations." And even Milton gives you like a very soft golf clap as you guys take your seat. Lady Fea steps forward and says, "All right, Masters of Candlekeep, which one of you would like to be interviewed next?" Very good job, guys. I thought that was going to go badly for you, but that was really cool.
That's all to Brax, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it was a team effort. All right, Brax has stepped away for a second, so Huel, Blinken, or Schemo, which one do y'all want to go next? Okay. Would step forward towards Lady Fea, and she actually sits down at this table right here. Victoro comes and sits beside her, and Milton comes and sits right here. He will sit in for this interview. Yes, Lady Fea says, "And please, sir, do remind me of your name." Victoro says, "And what made you leave your guild?" come and teach the noble children? Do you hold any resentments towards noble kind? And Lady Fea says, well, that is a wonderfully egalitarian viewpoint. And then Lord Victorio cuts her off and says, well, the honest truth is, Master Blinken, not everyone is the same. Not everyone is made equal. Some are better than others. The nobles, for example, have ruled Faerun for thousands and thousands of years, and in our hands we have become the most powerful kingdom in all of Toril. The guild system seeks to upset that, stripping our noble properties away. I've no doubt that a man like you, someone devoted to his craft and quality, and someone who seeks to have his contributions recognized, can tell. You sound like the guilds treat you like another cog in the machine. Uh, treating you like you're just supposed to show up and do your work and go home. No, no. When you work for a noble, you give your best, and when that noble sees what you are giving, he can elevate you above the rest of the crowd. What we would like you to do here is not simply teach guild arts, but teach our children the understanding of the guild system, so that over the coming decades we may obliterate the guild masters that seek to strip Waterdeep of its natural order. Would you have a problem with that, Master Blinken? Victoria says. And Milton perks up and says, I do believe my lord and his passions has misspoke. See, even the Castellantas were a common family over 300 years ago, but it was their excellent devotion to the craft of financing and accounting that allowed them to come up and be named nobles by some of the founders of Waterdeep. And I do get what you're saying here. See, the guild masters are simply interested in profit. They want you to go into the guild and churn out the same woodworking project every day of every year, and the quality and the craftsmanship dips in order to just get things out the door and get them to market. When you work under a noble, everything you do is a reflection of that noble. And whenever we are training these future guild workers and the future managers, as we will train at this school, we want them to know that they are serving a higher purpose, not merely building a table or building a desk or a war machine, but building something for a noble family. And as long as you can constantly put that into the minds of these students, that they are here to serve a higher purpose, I think you will fit in very well here.
Well, that I could agree with. I will say that my goal is to make sure whoever is going to be in my school or in my class, so to speak, um, I will show what I've learned, and I will show what effort it takes to make whatever craftsmanship that needs taught as best and as experted as they can be. Because I do believe in, if you actually work on whatever item, whatever it may be, maybe a bow or um, you know uh, maybe some type of boat or something, that whatever you could provide, then it will at the utmost uh, best perfect way of building. Make sure that they know what this does and what that does.
Lady Faya says, well, I am happy that we have someone here with such devotion to craftsmanship and quality, rather than mechanized production and quantity over quality. Master Blinken, I do not expect you to know every guild art. Every year, the knowledges and services of this city expand, and there are more products made than ever before. Please do tell us what guild arts you would feel comfortable teaching, so that next semester we might bring in someone else who has a different set of skills. That way, we produce well-rounded students.
Oh, that's understandable. I have no problem with that. For me specifically, I've been working a lot with um, woodscraft. So mostly it was with crafting bows and maybe some arrows here and there, so that I provide whatever people provide with those items. So something along the lines of that is fine for me. I'm real proficient with that.
Lady Faya says, here in about 3 weeks, all our students will be putting on a talent show displaying their bardic arts. We actually do not have a stage made. Do you think that one of the projects you could do in your class is building an elegant stage, an elegant, I don't know the word for it, but the thing around the stage that kind of frames it where the
Oh
curtain
yeah,
hangs?
yeah.
Yeah, things like that, and whatever props and such they might need. I think that would be a great way to get the students involved, not just in the art, but in the craft and presentation of their skills.
Okay, yeah, I could definitely lend a hand on that for sure. That would be a good project to start with.
Fantastic. Any other questions, fellas? And Lord Victorious leans forward to you, a little bit imposing. His hair is just a slight bit roughed from the tumble he took on the ground earlier, and he says, Master Blinken, I assume you could put two and two together that I have no love for the guilds of this city. The workers, the craftsmanship, yes, I need that to glorify my house and elevate us. But I must ask, are you currently under any contract or employment with a guild in this city?
No, I'm looking into one, but currently, since I'm working on this full assignment, or I want to, I am, under no contract with.
Deception check.
Yeah. That's not bad.
DC 12.
Oh, okay. So I just rolled a 15. So
Fantastic. And then Milton leans forward and says, Master Blinken, if I may be so bold, are you a gnome or a half?
sorry, I am a gnome, but obviously the I don't know what happened earlier. Something happened. Might have been some food allergies for my face. I apologize for that.
Says, forgive me, my memory lapses sometimes. I meet so many people in my duties. I seem to recall meeting a gnome named Blinken. Have we ever met before, sir?
But we have, I'm sure I'm not the only Lincoln in the city. But no, I don't think so.
Deception check, DC 14.
Uh, roll a 14 plus whatever.
Alright, so that's a pass. Milton seems satisfied. Lady Faya seems satisfied and happy that she has someone to help with her talent show. And Lord Victoro eyes you up and down. He doesn't like you because of your association, or he is off put by your association with the guilds, but he really likes a man who is willing to do quality work and stand on that quality. He reaches forward to shake your hand and says, Master Blinken, I cannot wait to see what you teach our students.
And I shake his hand and I nod and smile and say, "Yes, I look forward to it as well, and I'm looking forward for that project."
Fantastic. Please go back to your seat and send the half-orc over here.
Yes. I'll walk back to the seat and look at Yoda and said, "You're up."
Yule, are you ready? Yule, he's asleep.
Kirby, he's asleep.
Maybe he's
Mis-
speeding his meat.
Mr. Dewey.
Alright. Lincoln, I'll drag you back. If you want to sit somewhere else, you can drag your token there. And we'll do Schemo now.
Okay.
Schemo walks up, and again, he stands up and he takes very slow, deliberate steps with perfect posture. He doesn't travel up and down as he walks, his head remains level all the way through. He is a fantastic little actor. And he gingerly sits down at the table and says, Uh, yes. My name is Maestro. Shit, I had a name for him. Uh, yes, my name is Maestro Kelsia. It is my pleasure to be here. I look forward to teaching a new batch of students. Where I came from in Candlekeep. Or, I fucking lost his voice. Where I came from in Candlekeep. I just had to teach anybody that came in through the door. Uh, Common people, nobles, adventurers, scholars, people that really didn't seem to care that much about the music. They just wanted a little lute lesson here and there. What I look forward to doing here is teaching not just music, but the ability to know musical theory, to be able to apply that to a variety of instruments, as well as poetry reading, acting, and the ability to write plays and such. I really think that Waterdeep and its nobles need to retake the theaters in this town. It's been overrun by the theater guilds, and what do we have? We have these low rent, low budget, vulgar plays about adventurers and sex and drugs and money and just the kinds of things that we don't need in this city. I would love to show the high art to the students here and really elevate the city of Waterdeep. Make it a shining city for all the arts on the Sword Coast. And everyone already looks like very impressed with him. Uh, and they begin talking about poetry and art and different things like that.
And she's made it clear that he's not a fan of Schemo, right?
Uh,
Um,
the
yes.
Castellanters do not like Schemo, but he does not look like Schemo right now. He does not look like a Doom Raider.
No. To make it clear to the party, and she is not a fan of Schemo, right?
Oh yes, no.
Oh yeah,
That's
you made
clear.
that very clear.
You've made that very clear. You've wanted to kill him many times.
And I kept spraying you with water bottle spray so that you stop because we.
Well, because the water bottle is not present, and she's going to cast minor illusion to make it seem like he farted during the interview.
My God, dude. All right. Schemo was gonna roll a persuasion check to just smooth talk him, but now he's gonna do it with disadvantage. He's a
Sorry.
bard. Let me look at his sheet. I think he has +3 to his charisma. So that is an 11. A faint odor fills the area over by the table, and Milton scoots away, and Lady Faya waves a hand in front of her face, and Lord Victoro shifts uncomfortably, and
Did I see
Schemo.
this by chance of him doing that? By the way.
Inchi, do you want to do it secretly?
Yeah.
Sleight of
Okay.
hand.
Okay.
I mean, it's done already, but if I do see something,
Yeah. Yeah.
And that one.
oh boy!
Inchi, every one of your friends knows that you did this. The stench even reaches over to where y'all are, and this cat actually darts out from under the table here and continues scurrying, and then it gets to this wall, and it just runs through the wall, passing through it with a shower of magical sparks.
All right, so when that happens, I'm just gonna lean, sit next to Inchi, and I'm gonna give him a whack in the head, like in the back of the head, and say, "So, how did your interview go?" Really loudly once, that happened.
And she wallops Blinken on top of the head and says, "Oh, it went pretty good. How was yours?" And she wallops him again.
And I'm gonna
Jesus.
whisper in his ear, and be like, "You need to stop doing that. We need him."
Oh, maybe.
And that
Schemo
stinks.
says, I'm sorry, what'd you say, Blinken?
And I said that gas stinks.
How do you think
He
I
sure
feel? I'm
he
in the
sure
fucking
does.
coat.
uh, Schemo says, I do deeply, deeply apologize for that. Please forgive me. Our road from Candlekeep has been long and arduous. We have not had access to a laundromat for a while, and I've had to eat the most disgusting of street food that disagrees with my stomach. I do not miss Candlekeep, but the hearth at the bar always had the best, most high quality food, and this peasant food simply doesn't agree with me. Lord Victorio says, well, despite your rudeness and your lack of tact, I think I can forgive it. I probably wouldn't be much better if I had to walk all the way from here to the Southlands. Ugh. Milton, do see that all of these folks receive a fine meal and some good detoxicating tea. They can get this out of their system. Mr. Kelsia, uh, I do have a request. My daughter, Elizra, or Elzana, uh, she has been going through a fit of the blues recently. I was hoping that you could take a special interest in her and teach her. There's a special lute that I'd like her to be able to play at this talent show. Um, would you be able to devote a few of your nights to giving her special tutelage? I would, of course, pay you extra for this. And Schemo says, well, of course, if a lord demands it, or even asks of it, I would be happy to do so. And he bows his head, uh, and you can tell that he grimaces just a little bit. Oh, he hates sucking up to lords, and he especially hates sucking up to Lord Victoro, a Castellanter. But he'll do it. The three or the four of you perk up. A special loot. Y'all know that somewhere in this school is the golden axe, Froggy's old loot. Y'all haven't told Schemo about this, though. But that golden axe is what the golden keys asked you to get. It would be a very powerful magical loot. It would also be worth quite a bit of money, and it has some significance to both the Doom Raiders and the Castellanters. So if you got your hands on it, you could sell it, you could use it as a weapon, or you could use it to gain favor with the Castellanters or the Doom Raiders. They continue talking about poetry and such for a little bit, and then Schemo seems to smooth over the fart that fucking Jesus seems to smooth that over. And he goes to shake their hands, but none of them shake his hand back because they're all nobles and he smells bad. And he says,
Yep.
I promise that come tomorrow I will be fit and fresh and healthy again. I do look forward to that detoxicating tea. Please forgive my rudeness. And he bows his head, and then he bows his entire body, and he walks back over to the table, and he comes
Uh,
around, and he shoots you, Inchi, the fucking death glare.
as he's staring at me, it's just gonna cast another Minor Illusion. Make him let out a
Smack.
wet one.
Oh god, really, man?
Wait,
He
what
he
just
kn-
happened?
he made him fart again. He made the
Oh.
sound of a fart. When he notices you doing this, he says, "Oh!" He starts like singing really loud in like an opera voice, and it's really loud and convincing. Well, let me make him roll a performance check. It's not loud enough though. Uh, Jesus Christ. And he says, and that was a demonstration of the music that I will teach your children. And Lord Victor shoots him a side eye, and they go back to talking to each
Oh,
other.
fuck.
And you hear the words part time come out of their mouth.
Oh yeah.
And just grinning wide at Eskimo.
Schemo just goes back to sitting and he bows his head, pretending to be in meditation again. But you get the distinct vibe that he's planning revenge.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
fair.
The jester over in the corner continues playing a soft tune. You can hear the sounds of children moving from class to class outside, and every once in a while you can hear the sound of full plate mail as guards change their position in uh, the school. After about 10 minutes, a woman steps in. These are one of the mages that you saw lighting torches by magic earlier. And she says, Lady El Torchel, classes are done for the evening. Uh, are we going to have dinner here in the hall, or should I dismiss the students to their dormitories or their homes? And Victorio stands up and says, I will be taking my children, Elzerna and Tenzero, home this evening, perhaps every other evening. I want to keep a close eye on them in these difficult times. And Lady El Torchel says, Of course, Lord Castellanta, you may do as you wish. Myrna, send everyone up to their dormitories and have the teachers come in and have them meet our newest guest teachers. Milton, would you mind running to the kitchen and making sure that everything is in tip-top shape for these students? And Milton bows his head politely and he walks out of the door over here. And y'all don't see where he walks. So I'm just gonna put everyone in the same place so y'all can see who all is in this school in the same area. Shit, I might have put too many children here. But yeah, good job, everybody.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Blinken, thank you for carrying me. Literally.
Me.
Oh no. Thorgren. That's my bad.
It's not easy being 3 foot nothing.
Thank you for the interview. Um,
I'm writing a note in the trench
Mhm.
coat, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
that basically like Mr. Grun, may appear as multiple different appearance. I might have multiple appearances. I am always working on my illusion magic, so please forgive any confusion it causes, and I'm gonna hand it to Inchi.
And just starts reading aloud. I, Mr. Grun, uh, may appear as many different uh, uh, images, people, because I am, and I do air quotes, I'm working on my illusion magic. So please forgive. It's kind of smudged.
It's not
Okay.
easy to write with gravy.
So please forgive any uh discrepancies in my
Confusion.
appearance. That's what I read.
That's what I read.
Anyways, I
Oh.
figured this would give us an excuse to actually just be able to walk around as ourselves, assuming we still have a slight disguise on. That way we don't have to be walking around together.
Yeah, however y'all want to do it. But everyone here is fairly intelligent and aware of magic, so they might ask questions. Okay, so everyone to the north here is a teacher here. Then there's these ladies, these mages down here. These are kind of like the den mothers. They like watch the students at night. They take care of like their medical needs and like bring food and stuff. They're not really teachers. And then all the students are down here to the south. This is a chance for y'all to mingle and talk to any of the teachers before y'all are dismissed for the day. And then your first actual day of teaching will be tomorrow. That's how this heist is going to work. You get to teach during the day, and then we can go and work on personal stories or subplots at night. This gives y'all time to find out information about the Golden Axe, plan the heist, while also doing the other storylines that are active. Oh, I forgot to say during the recap, Schemo is convinced that one of the Castellanters will have the Castellanter's gemstone on them. He said that it is a gemstone that reveals 3 riddles that will be needed to enter the Vault of Dragons. So you'll use the keys to get inside, and then there will be puzzles inside, some of which are riddles that will open doors inside the Vault of Dragons dungeon. Uh, yeah. I've kind of designed it like you don't need to have that, but like if you get to the Vault of Dragons and you don't know those riddles, you might not be able to move forward. And if you
Yeah.
can't figure out those riddles, like that. So you get to kind of prepare for the dungeon for the whole campaign. Okay. What would y'all like to do?
Inchi.
And she peers into his trench coat. What?
Okay, so read that note.
And then she starts reading off the note to him.
Okay,
Uh,
you understand?
illusion. I might appear different.
Yes, yes,
Blah blah
you've
blah.
risen. So you understand what the note says, right?
I think.
Okay, hand me the paper.
And she shoves it down to him.
I'm gonna eat the paper.
That's
Okay,
gross, man.
Fantastic.
I'm gonna stand up
And
and
you
start
can't say anything.
I'm gonna start
That's
walking
why it makes
Inchi
it
towards
funny.
Lady Faye.
Okay. I'll drag you
Okay,
both together.
so Inchi, tell her in the most normal way you can.
Were you going to
Pinch,
finish that
pinch.
sentence?
No, just in the most normal way you can.
And she pokes his head back out of the trench coat.
We're already
Looks at
halfway there. You've been walking with your head in the coat.
yeah, and he looks at the lady and says, "Oh, I'm gonna run some scenarios on the students, you see, and I'm going to change my appearance every now and then, and I am going to see when they can catch the discrepancies in my appearance, and I'll give them bonus points during at the end of our class terms. Will that be fine with you, ma'am?"
Ah, yes, yes. Many people in Waterdeep use disguises often. It would be good for all our sorcerers and wizards to know when they are being tricked. It would help in business dealings and self-defense. My Lord Grung, I appreciate how you can think on your feet, and I hope you can pass that on to our students here. And this ghost kind of like floats up behind her. This is the ghost that was teaching anatomy of monsters earlier, the one that tied a kinku to a chair and said that it didn't have any thoughts or feelings and it was just a monster. And he says, would that not be confusing for the students or any type of security risk, Lady Fea?
Oh,
She
Mr.
says,
Ghost, it's the point for the kids to learn from the confusion. Life isn't always clear.
Not only would it be a like challenge for security, but it would also help improve security and the faculty senses if they didn't catch on.
Lady Fea says, well, school security, even though you are a defense teacher, will not be your job. We have many of the Castellanta family guards, City Watch, and even the Black Staff herself has agreed to help us with security. And at night, all the doors are locked, with charms put on them specifically by the artificer herself, some of the highest quality magical charms in the city. And Milton says, yes, we paid quite a pretty penny to have her come in and do all of that. Oh, quite the shiny copper to have her come and do all that.
Oh, wow, the artificer herself, you say?
Oh, her reputation precedes her, I see. Yes, the artificer. Comes from a common family, but very smart, I do say, even if she has been slipping as of late. And Lady Fea says, oh, did you hear what happened to her at the Court of the Dancing Moon? Terrible incident there.
I don't go to moon stuff myself, so I don't think I heard.
This tiefling steps forward and says, I was actually going to be at that Court of the Dancing Moon. Normally, don't ever miss an opportunity to dance. Unfortunately, some business with Scalderang kept me away. I guess the gods were looking down on me. And Lady Fea says, ah, yes, Master Joster, Master of the Physical Arts. He teaches painting and art history here.
And then she kind of like laughs but stifles it.
Says, oh, Master Grung, have you never looked upon a wonderful tapestry and had it bring out feelings within you?
Uh,
I remember
yeah,
this one painting I saw, but it made me cry.
Who's talking right now?
I'm whispering this to Inchi.
Okay.
I'm whispering this to Inchi. I remember seeing a painting, except it made me cry, but not from my eyes.
uh, and then she says, I remember I was crying and I saw a painting, and I was like, whoa, a tapestry.
Oh, and what wonderful work of art was it that drew this emotion out of you? Perhaps I could teach a lesson on it and invite you along.
Tell him
Oh,
the artist of the painting was Hewence Hefneronius.
It was a painting of Hufanaris, and it was like a lot of dirt and trees and chickens and
What?
rocks
It was a booby painting.
and
Lady,
movies.
Oh, Jesus. Lady
Jesus.
Faya says, I'm not familiar with Master Huey's work. Perhaps I should look it up. And Josta says, oh, no, madam, you don't need to do that. He paints bunny rabbits.
Oh, is it red rabbits?
Snow bunnies.
Victoro notices you say that, and he says, who just spoke? Who just spoke of the ruby rabbits?
I said red rabbits.
He says, we will not mention that group of miscreants here in this school. Oh, my family still had control of security in this city, we would have wiped out their encampment long ago.
And she lightens up. Oh, you also don't like the red rabbits?
He says, the ruby rabbits are a bunch of commoners that have lost their place. They think that no nobles nor even guild masters should exist. They would upend this city and its prosperity and burn it all down out of spite. They look at our gold, they look at our manners that we have earned, and they think that it is somehow theirs. This is disgusting. They have been protesting outside our museum. They're one of the reasons we have banned commoners from El Torcho Villa.
Don't you think that Ruby is too fancy a name for these rabbits? Just call them red rabbits.
Milton steps forward and says, well, they're actually an offshoot of the Emerald Enclave. They're a more extremist sect of those tree-hugging druids. They went from emerald to ruby to describe the blood they wish to spill.
Ask if they have any gigs out on them.
Do you have any
Bounties.
gigs out on the red rabbits or the
Bounties.
emerald bounties, sir?
Victorio steps forward and he says, my, you are full of surprises. Here, come with me and let's discuss. Alright, does anybody else want to have a conversation?
I would probably just do like a mingle for me, just kind of say, introduce myself and stuff.
Yeah,
Get their face.
pick somebody.
Yeah, same here. Q will just go
Yeah,
up and introduce himself as the horticulture maybe teacher.
yeah, pick somebody. Tell me who you want to talk to.
I'll probably talk to. I'll talk to Alchrist. Fuck it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So you go up to Alchrist and you introduce yourself as the guild arts teacher.
Yep.
He says, oh, wow, it is very... That's not his voice. He says, well, it's very good to meet you, sir. My name is Alchrist, Master of History. I hear you come from Candlekeep. Ah, I have one day longed to go there and study all the history books that they have on file, but to become a reader, you have to go through all the complications of being a scribe for a few years first. Maybe one day when I retire. Says, so, tell me, what kind of guild arts are you familiar with?
Well, mostly for me, basic woodcrafting. Sometimes I help people bows, make arrows, and then like building wood bridges, so on. Pretty intense sometimes.
Says, that is most fascinating. Soon in my lectures, I'll be covering the infrastructure of early Waterdeep and how it influenced the design of the city throughout the centuries. I would love it if I could get you in there to describe the various materials and things that were made,
Oh yeah, I
that
would.
were used to make
Uh,
these bridges.
I would definitely lend a hand on that.
So he steps away for a second. He pulls out like a little flask that he has that has some wine in it, and he takes a sip of it and he offers it to you. He says, "Now tell me, Master Blanken, do you fear at all that one day the metallurgy and steel arts will overcome the need for wood?"
Well, I certainly hope not. I do different, even more of building things, but I do still think that the crafting, uh, on demand, let's call it, Maybe one day, I don't know.
Yeah, y'all just have a conversation
Yeah.
about that. Alchrist, he does seem a little bit not pompous. How would you describe someone that's like, high society but doesn't look down on other people? Like, you don't get the air of arrogance off of him, even
Yeah.
though he is
Prestigious?
clearly a man that is used to the finer things.
That's right.
Pres- Prestigious?
That's a good word. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Humble?
Prestigious, not arrogant.
humble.
It's actually a breath of fresh air to talk to him. And for the record, all these people here in green will only exist inside the school, and after this story's over, they will be done,
Yeah.
unless you want to make them allies or something like that. So don't get overwhelmed by needing to know them and all their stories. Huel, who did you want to talk to?
He'll kind of be like, jump up and he's like waking up. He's like sleeping there on the bench. He's
Hmm.
gonna go talk to this fella. He sees he's musically inclined,
Yes.
Mr. Sculdering.
Yes, Schemo comes up with you, disguised as Kelsier, and y'all begin talking. How would you introduce yourself to Mr. Scaldering, who is the opposite of Alchrist and looks very arrogant and very like he looks down on people?
He'd walk up. He'd be like, "My name is Phyllis Ratrod. I am
That's a great name.
Yes.
looking for a
Perfect.
position here, and looking forward to working with you and the
Yes.
other members of the staff here." And I'll go up and give him a handshake.
Scaldering, when you like offer your hand to him, he extends only two fingers, his index finger and his thumb, and he just lightly shakes your hand and says, "Yes, I was told that you would be the master of horticulture and pottery or something as like that. Tell me, do you really think you'll be able to get a whole semester's worth of lessons out of that?"
I hope so. Maybe in a semester and a half, crunched into a compact, shorter semester.
Says, yes. Well, please, when you teach these students, do not let them go wild and fancy. Teach them the proper, exact, and perfect way to do things. When I teach them to sing or to play an instrument, I really try to stamp out this creativity and this need to express something in themselves. The music is already on the page, and they should play what is on that. Schemo clenches his fist beside you. This is like his exact opposite of the way he thinks about music. You roll a perception check on Scalderang.
I'm gonna say Schema looks at me and he's also clenching his fist because he
Oh
likes
yeah,
music.
you're both bards. Yeah, you both hate
Mhm.
everything he just said.
He's biting his lip. He said perception.
Yes.
Yeah, he's taking everything he can and not to start beaking off right now. Like music comes from within the soul, and he's gonna bite his lip.
All
It
right.
is written for a reason.
You look over Scalderang. He's wearing this red coat, this like pink coat, and this bright green vest. It clashes with each other, and it clashes with his blue tiefling skin, and it's just an assault on your eyes. Even though it's like very fine clothes, he just makes it look really ugly. It's all really tight on him too, as he has a big bulging gut, and he also has some kind of short sword around his waist. And Schema Weird Bottles says, yes, well, if I am teaching bardic arts and you're teaching music, I want to know why those are two different positions. And Scalderang says, well, it is because the nobles are expected to know an instrument or two and be able to sing a song so they can entertain guests at parties. For these children, it's very important that they are seen by other noble parents as being someone who is able to go up on stage and sing a full song properly in the exact right Elvish or Dwarvish. It shows a level of class and education, and it really makes sure that they all have the same histories that they can refer to, the same kind of arts that they can discuss. So when they go off in their adult lives to make their deals with other nobles, everyone gets along together. We really have to make sure that all the nobles have the same education, so that they have the same minds and they can work together. The you go to these schoolhouses, or you go and see what the common people teach. They teach every person to be themselves and be unique, and that is why you see the common classes constantly struggling. They're also interested in being themselves. They have no interest in being great. And Schema says, "Well, I was told, I was told that there is a young lady here by Elzira Castellanter who needs some special attention. Have you had any lessons with her?" And Scaldering rolls his eyes and looks away with disgust and says, "Miss Elzira," and he specifically doesn't use lady, he says Miss Elzira. He says, "Miss Elzira is the most stubborn one. Apparently, she discovered a music by this group of bards called the Doom Raiders, and she's very taken with it. So whenever she sings, she changes her voice and enunciates the words weird. She says it brings out the emotion, and it is just revolting. It's disgusting. Music has rules. Words are supposed to be said a certain way. You're supposed to open your mouth and pronounce them so that even the back seats may hear them. And she is just doing whatever her heart desires. I do not see much of a future for that lass." Okay. Victoro and Inchi and Thorgrim, y'all step away for a little bit, and Victoro says, "Now, I've been told that the ruby rabbits are holed up at some kind of fetid orchard on the outskirts of the city, near one of our workhouses, a nail factory. And they really seem to blame us for their orchard coming under, falling into disarray. It was probably just mismanagement on the part of the snow beetle family that ran it, group of fetid halflings and such. But they have been harassing my managers at the nail factory, and I would really love it if someone could go over there and teach them a lesson. I'm told that their
Oh,
leader is some kind of portal, some kind of animal creature, and their lieutenant is some kind of grung, a frog creature from a far off land. Someone could
oh,
scare them and get them back where they came from. That'd be very nice. And I
yeah.
have no confirmation of this, but I know that they are trying to recruit some goblin clan on the outskirts of the city into their ranks. Oh,
Uh, I
gods.
don't think so.
Imagine.
They
Hmm.
used their army of frogs to try to kill the goblins, and I don't know what happened after that, but I think the goblins won very easily.
Deception check?
My computer forced itself into a update, so I'm gonna roll a d20.
Okay.
That's a 9, and what's deception? That wisdom?
Charisma. But it'll be its own skill, so it's possible for you to have more
No,
deception than
I
you
don't
have
think so. But
charisma.
deception is part of wisdom.
It is?
Oh, the charisma. Oh, then that's
Yeah.
10 overall.
Okay. Give me a second. I'm going to make myself a drink.
Gotcha. I'm having the opposite case of skits because I'm trying to keep rolling my d20, but I'm getting like rolls below 10.
Yeah, I probably should pull it out of.
Yeah, see, I just rolled in that one. Just trying to roll it around. Oh, with that.
All
Okay,
right.
there we go. 18, finally. Sorry,
Yeah,
what's
there.
up?
18.
No,
So
I'm
you
just rolling around for the hell of it.
okay? 18. Well, I'll take that.
What?
What were you rolling? What did you actually roll?
I was just fucking around. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so with your 18, he says, "So you've heard that this clan of goblins was able to take on the ruby rabbits and fight them off? Hmm, most interesting. Now see
Yeah, they
that
killed.
clan of goblins. Please don't interrupt me. Now see that clan of goblins is actually stationed in an area that my family has owned but has been unused. We'd like to start some kind of forestry operation there because the trees grow particularly thick. However, if that clan of goblins was able to do something about the ruby rabbits, perhaps I could let them stay in their little ramshackle village."
Oh, well, I think we're thinking of the wrong goblins because where they live, they are just fine where they're at. And
No,
no,
see, you misunderstand me. The goblins are on my land, and I want it back. But if the goblins could prove themselves useful rather than vagrants, perhaps I could let them stay there a decade or so longer.
well, my goblins killed all those frogs, so
Y-
I could talk to those goblins, but I feel like my goblins are living just where they're at, just fine, not on
y-
your land, sir.
Your goblins.
Yeah, the ones
Wh-
I'm talking about.
Where do these goblins that can fight the ruby rabbits that you're talking about live?
In the woods.
See, Mr. Grung, I believe we are talking about the same set of goblins.
There's a lot of woods.
There's a lot of woods. Look, since you seem to have some connection to these goblins, although why you would ever associate with such creatures is beyond me, if you could convince them to handle these terrorists, the Ruby Rabbits, me and my family and I would be most appreciative of it.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll go take a hike one day, see if I can find these very dangerous, very skilled, very handsome goblins, and I'll see what they can do.
He says, "Do be careful around them. We've had many problems with goblins in this city as of late. I told the Black Staff just last week if we can ban dragons, certainly we could ban goblins. But she said something about equality under the law, some nonsense such as that. Ugh, I'll
And she
be
puts
doing
up
away
his
with."
index finger. Well, the economy would suffer if goblins weren't in Waterdeep. You see, someone's got to clean up the trash around here and eat up the grapes and the gravy and goblins. They're smart, economy, politically wise, right? Eh?
"Mr. Grung, you confound me. You can always find someone to be a dung sweeper. Doesn't have to be a particular race. But I suppose us thinking differently is what makes you able to think on your feet so much. Although, it would be fun if we had a duel outside of this school one day, but I kid. Please, go about your business. I look forward to teaching with you tomorrow."
And I look forward to dueling, sir. Goodbye.
Okay, and he is going to run on out. And as he exits the door, he says, "Elzyro, Tinzino, come on, we must be back to your mother. I'm sure that she has prepared a wonderful meal with the servants. Elzyra? Elzyra, where did you go?" All right. Do y'all want to do any more mingling, or are y'all ready to leave the school for the day?
And she pokes down back into his trench coat, ask Thorgrin that. Hey, do you want to go talk to someone?
uh, let's go to our quarters, and we can split up.
Ooh, smart. Like my toesies. Let's go.
Yep.
All right,
what-
Huel, Blanken.
I'm pretty much good to end the in the day.
Yeah,
So let's leave here.
I'm okay with leaving here. I'm just, striking up a conversation and be like, yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
Krista says, "There's a staff breakfast if you arrive 30 minutes before the beginning of school. It isn't mandatory, but the sausage biscuits that they make here, delightful. You must come." God, I'm doing a lot of stuffy voices.
Yes, 30 minutes before.
Yes, okay. All right, I'm gonna drag y'all's tokens.
Yep.
As y'all
Oh,
exit, the other teachers continue to mingle along with these mages here, talking about sleeping arrangements for the students from foreign cities that are going to be staying in the school uh, during the semester. And y'all walk out and you notice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 students. One of which, Victorio Castelander, is standing by and holding his hand. It is a young boy with blonde hair, wearing all black robes made with a fancy pattern, and and held together by this red clasp. That is not the gemstone. I just want to be clear about that. That's in his picture. That's what he looks like, but that is not the gemstone. It is some kind of like metal clasp that's been painted red. And you hear Victorio saying, Elzina, Elzina, where did you run off to? Girl. He turns back to the few of you and he says, uh, could you guys help me look, or could you fellows help me look for my daughter, Elzana Castellanta? She's wearing a gold dress, I believe, today. I want to exit the school and get back to our house immediately.
Oh, yeah, that's unfortunate. I thought I saw her somewhere. Saw a little girl with a gold dress. Um,
Yes, she's always running off everywhere. Students, be away, be away. Make room for these people to watch. And you see about half of the students exit the school, and another half of the students start running up these stairs here, laughing and talking to each other. And they're going to go upstairs to their dorms. And Lord Victoro and Tenzero are going to leave this way. Roll a perception check on Tenzero as he leaves. All of you.
Okay.
ooh, I rolled a natural 20.
Ooh,
Okay.
fantastic.
Perception is wisdom, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Then I believe that's an 18.
I rolled a dirty
God
20.
damn.
Oh, nice.
And Huel got a 19. What'd you get, Inchi?
18.
Holy shit. So all of y'all did really good. So as they walk, Victorio actually has to pull Tenzero. He's just kind of staring at y'all with blank eyes. And he walks along. He seems very disinterested. And as they walk along this green magic, this sliver of the weave that's been made visible in the school, he reaches out his hand to try and touch it. And you notice that the weave retreats and doesn't let him touch it. It actually like seems to resist him in some way, and he looks at it coldly and with anger in his eyes. He is about 8 years old, and he is about the height of his father's waist. And they exit out this door to the side.
Hmm. Okay.
Standing here in this hallway now, you can hear the students upstairs. You can hear some teachers talking in the grand hall back here. And y'all look around for Elzerna. And since all of y'all got a really high perception check, you kind of hear some singing coming from this room right here. And you hear someone going, uh, singing notes very clearly and very crisply, but without much soul to them. And Schemo says, Hey, hey, that's one of our songs. And his posture falls back to its normal self, and he quickly scurries over to this door right here. And he cracks it open just a little bit, and you hear someone singing in Elvish. Their pronunciation is perfect. Every note is right on cue, but there's no real soul to it. And Huel, you especially notice this because you know what song they're singing. It's one of the Doom Raiders' first songs from their last album that they put out about 10 years ago called The End. Schemo opens this door. Does anybody want to look in?
I'll take a peek.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'd be interested in the song. That
You
doesn't
just
sound right.
and she just whispers to Schemo, "They got a pretty bad taste in music." Huh.
And he says, "I will feed you to a fucking griffin, little goblin. I swear to all the gods."
I'll
All
cut
right.
your toes off, and you better shut the hell up.
He says,
Okay,
"I'll
you two can get a room later. Also, I
fry
don't
your
want to be caught
ears
in the
in
middle of
oil.
this.
I'll fry your ears in oil." Uh, and he opens the door a little bit, and y'all peek in, and y'all see Elzira. Oh shit, this isn't the music room. The music room is this room with the telescope. But just pretend that this is the music room. And you see Elzinra. She is sitting at a piano right here, and she is playing it perfectly with just a few of her fingers. She hasn't really mastered like using all her fingers to play, so she's just playing the basic notes, and it's perfectly on rhythm. It's perfectly to the notes, and her singing goes along with it perfectly. It's very technically skilled, but it's just so stiff. It doesn't feel fun. It doesn't feel flowing at all. And you see her sigh, and she says to someone, she goes, "It just isn't good. I don't like it. I don't know why Father wants me to perform at the talent show like this. He says I have to show off to the master. But who do I have to show off for? I'm a castellanter. I don't want to do it, but I'm worried that if I don't, he'll do to me what he did to you. I don't I don't know what to do." And you hear a soft, deep, raspy voice say, "Play from your heart." And Elzira wipes away her tears, and she puts her fingers on the piano, and she begins playing again. But the notes aren't perfect this time. Her fingers slide. She holds notes just a little bit longer than they're supposed to do, or cuts them off earlier, and it has just a little bit of that soul in it. And she begins singing, and just like Scaldering said, she cuts some words off. She really enunciates the end of them. She like puts some anger or sadness into them, and she's singing in common now. And she sings, "I've got front row seats to the best of the balls. When I grow up, I want to be nothing at all. I said, save me. Get me the hells out of here. Save me. I don't want to die. I want you here." And then she whispers, "If you can hear me, then save me. Save me. Save me." And she begins crying again. And you hear that voice, that demonic, raspy voice, say, "I thought it was beautiful, sister." And she says, "Thank you, brother." And she stands up and she adjusts her hair and she begins to lead the room, and she sees that it's open and she startles. And then Blinken, you hear something. Something that you've only heard once before. That night in the yawning portal, that Galanus got scared. You hear the sound of chains dragging along a wooden floor. What do you do?
Um, I'll probably um kind of you know, look around and I'm like, sorry, I thought I heard something. I heard some beautiful singing, and I was just curious.
Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. I was just practicing for the talent show. Please, you must excuse me. You must excuse me. And she comes here and she tries to push her way past y'all. Do you let her?
I mean, I would. I don't know about everybody else.
And she stuffs his face back into the trench coat. Hey, should I let this little girl go?
Uh,
I
we know
mean,
about the prophecy about her dying to foil the Castellanters, right?
Yeah, Huel
Oh,
told you about his vision,
Yeah.
where
oh,
the voice said, "If you kill her, you foil the Castellanter's plans."
oh, so you want me to kill her?
Uh, I shrug.
I mean,
I
we
mean,
don't have
I'd
to
rather
kill
not
her.
kill a kid. Kinda
It's not
bad.
about what you want, should I?
No,
No?
if
Okay.
anyone's doing the killing, it's me.
That that's fair. And she pokes his head back up. Yeah, no, go ahead.
And she runs along and runs along, and again, you swear to God, you can hear the sound of chains dragging along the cobblestone floors. And she runs away.
I poke my head back down. I could have stabbed her in the back, like
I'm
she was
already
right
pulling out a
there.
dagger.
And then she pulls his out and shows
Listen,
it to Thorgrin under his trench coat. Yeah, see, I could stab her.
we don't want to blow our cover the first day we're here. Come on.
No, I'm threatening you, Inchy.
And she then points his dagger right at his face then.
I point
Oh,
mine at
okay
your
then.
junk.
Oh, no,
Two
I'm
can play
sorry,
this game.
no, Thorgrin. I'm sorry.
I'll
And
hop the twig and peaches. Don't try me.
I surrender.
Yeah, give me your dagger.
And she hands him his dagger.
I now have 2 daggers.
All right. Would y'all like to go somewhere and discuss what just happened?
I mean, yeah, we could go back. Um,
Yeah,
Steve,
let's
and go.
I was gonna agree with you. Say, let's just go back to our rooms and talk. Actually, like, figure it out.
Yeah? Y'all want to go back to your bar?
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah. The
All
blue
right.
golem?
Y'all exit the school and you exit El Torchel Villa, and I'm going to take you back to your bar, Troll Skull Manor. And my roommates just got back, so give me a second, guys.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, y'all are all here already. Perfect.
You know, it'd be great if we could get this as like background lines for the yawning portal. Like it's just dissonant enough, you know?
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is like the background sounds in the bar.
Mhm.
Right?
This is the demon guy who's the purple guy right there next to Aaronix.
we we hired on to be substitute teachers, right?
No, I think we're supposed to cover plan
Just straight up
heist.
teachers.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Not sure if and she should be allowed around children, but I'm glad I got the job. Or Thorgrin, matter of fact. But we're the duo?
What about me? What'd I do? I didn't do shit. Solinchi.
Would you hit a child? Is all I'm saying.
I mean, is he a dick?
My point exactly. All children are dicks. Middle school children, at least. And then she cast fear on a cat, so we know what he'd do to a child.
Hey guys, sorry, I didn't know the Discord disconnected.
At
All
all.
good.
Hello. Alright, I'm back. I had to move the room I was in. I kind of sleep in the living room right now.
Let's see.
Yep. Okay, so y'all are... What the hell? What happened to the map?
It also moved rooms.
Oh, fuck no, I hope I didn't accidentally delete it. Come on, roll 20. Alright, let me reload roll 20.
My computer finished updating, so I'm also reloading Roll20.
There we go. Oh, okay, good. Okay, the map is still here. Okay, can everyone see it?
Yeah, we're in the bar.
Yep.
Yeah.
So y'all come back to Troll Skull Alley. Remember, Troll Skull Alley kind of has whatever shops you would need. It also has a private detective that you can use, and Inchi, it also has access to a sewer if you would need something like that.
Gotcha.
And get rid of this grid. It doesn't need to be here. Okay, so y'all enter in through your the double doors that swing inside. You see Lif at the bar. It looks at you. Y'all haven't really done anything except clean this area, so there's no real drinks to serve you. You've kind of blown through whatever good wine was still here. Aranex scurries over from underneath a chair and climbs up to you, Blinken. And you know, when he was smaller, he used to be able to climb up and like sit on your shoulder and stuff like he is in your picture. But he's kind of too big for that now, so it's kind of like a big dog that doesn't realize it's big trying to climb up on you.
Yep.
And Schema says, "Gods above and below, I'll never get used to that. Ugh, just an actual dragon in Waterdeep. It's incredible."
Yeah. Something to get you.
He says, "Okay, so we made it into the school. Uh, that seems pretty good. Uh, I wasn't really able. I looked over Victoro Castellanter. I didn't see any red gemstones on him. That little brat of his, Tenzero, I believe his name is. He had this red clasp on his coat, holding it up, but I think it was made of metal and just painted red. So I don't know where their red gemstone is for the Stone of Aranex." And he says, "And what the hells is going on with that Elzira girl?"
Yeah, I don't know. I heard. I'm just kind of double checking. I look at. Did hear the chains, right?
And Schema says,
Mind flayer, mind flayers, man. They possessed her. They went in her brain and took it.
What?
I
Bro, you're
heard
talking crazy. Cut it up.
I heard something, and then she cast minor illusion to make Schema fart again.
Uh,
The wine in the
Ah.
school's turning the frogs gay.
The water at the schools turn them into mind flayers.
The water's
Well,
infested with mind flayers.
the character of Schema would absolutely just like fucking thunder wave you into the wall and shit, but like I as the DM don't want to start a fight. And so he just looks over and goes, "God, Lif, keep it together," and he waves his hand in front of his nose. And Lif goes, "What? What did I do?" Like shrugs its shoulders.
My first are cantrips, so I can do this as much as I want.
He says, "I is that what that sound was? Chains? I thought I heard a voice too. Was she in there alone or with someone else?"
think something. Uh, Following her. I don't know. Possession is the right word for it.
I didn't visually see anyone with her.
None of you did.
neither did
No,
I.
all we did is hear.
Do you remember
We
what
heard-
you heard?
We heard the song, the end.
Yeah, it's some gravelly voice calling her sister or some shit.
Blanken, you remember one of the first things you did after the museum heist was go to the El Torcho library and research the cat because they had they intrigued you at first.
Yeah.
You wrote down a bunch of notes. Maybe you should look those over. You go into your if you want to do that, they would be in your notebook along with Galanus's notebook and Schemo's notebook about the Doom Raiders' plans for the Vault of Dragons.
Um. Yeah. I mean, I could just kind of go through the notes and I'll be like, yeah, maybe I remembered something. Because I know Castellaner family is kind of shady, so I'm gonna read and figure it out. That does seem intriguing.
Schema says they're not just shady, man. They're evil. They disguise it because they always hire someone else to do their dirty work. But any bad thing that's happened in the Sword Coast in the past decade or so has had the Castellanter's involvement. They funded dragon cults so that they could weaken Waterdeep's defenses, so that they could step in and provide the funds to increase security, and that increased their stranglehold on the city. Uh, they sent people to try and kill storm giants and take magic weapons from them. And I know damn well they were working with Manchun. I saw Victoro in Manchun's tower the night we killed his simulacrum. But of course, nothing ever sticks, because even though the City Watch will get all up the Doom Raiders' asses, they never ever go after the nobles.
Oh God! All right, I'll have to.
So, were we given any like sigils or anything to say that we are members of staff at the school, so we can come and go as we please?
Yeah, like passes or something.
Yeah, sure. Y'all got a hall pass
Okay.
that identifies you as a teacher. It has your cover names on it, and of course there was only 4 of them. One for Schemo, Blinken, Inshi, and Huel under their cover names.
All right. Heal. I'm gonna go back to the
Alright.
school and do some digging around. You want to come with?
I mean, I
Yeah,
suppose I could.
Thorgrim tried to cut my balls off. I don't want to ride his shoulders anymore. You can ride his instead.
You put your dagger against my nose.
You stole my dagger and pointed yours at my crotch.
Do goblins have balls? I just assumed you were all eunuchs.
More than you.
I guarantee his
I
balls
doubt
way
that.
more than you as a person do.
Mine,
Maybe
mine,
you
are,
should cut them off then.
mine are bigger. Yeah.
Anyways, enough talk about deforestation. Come on, Huel.
What are you digging for?
Well, I was thinking that you and I could go sneak into that Castellanter girl's room. That sounds very inappropriate when I say it out loud.
Yeah, it does. So the
Where do we all
Castellanter
want to
girl,
go?
the Castellanter girl does not stay at El Torchel Academy.
Yes,
She
but
would be
the room
staying
she
at
was
the
in.
Castellanter's house. Okay.
I want to go sneak into that room that she was occupying at the time, and see
Okay.
if we can find that instrument that we're after. That I totally didn't forget the name of.
Golden axe.
The Golden Axe. Yes.
You say that out loud by Schemo?
No.
I would.
Shit.
Well, I mean, if Thorgrim didn't say it out loud, you wouldn't have responded to it, Huel.
Okay,
Well,
yeah.
I stepped to the side with him. Maybe I might have forgotten.
Yeah,
Okay,
both
yeah,
out
y'all,
of character, right? Like,
But
y'all,
Huel says it out loud anyway, so.
I'm at the golden lass, the golden dress.
okay, Schemo's deep in thought about the Castellanter girl as you two are walking out the door, so he doesn't hear that.
And she's tugging at Thorgrim's shirt as he's leaving. Can I have my dagger back?
You have it back when you learn the proper way to hold the dagger.
Can I have my dagger back?
I'm just gonna keep
Please.
walking.
Okay.
And she's holding onto his shirt. Please.
Come on,
I can
Thorgrim. He
walk
doesn't have
along.
much.
I'm gonna walk with you, just holding onto my shirt.
He's
Heels
got his
dragging
Yeah.
in the
He's
dirt.
got his little book that he draws in and his knife. Come on, that's all he has.
Please, I just want my dagger.
Yep. He doesn't even hold the dagger right. He was holding it by the blade.
He wasn't even holding his book right. He was holding it upside down.
Play it on my dagger.
Can I reach for his book?
It's in his pack.
Okay, I'm just gonna keep walking and drag him along.
Okay, and are you gonna go with them to get your dagger back?
And she's just holding on to Thorgrim's shirt and dragging his heels in the dirt. But I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. Thorgrim weighs more than you, so he can drag you along. Okay, looks
And
like Inchi's going back to the school too.
Well,
And
Blinken
she
might as well
has a
come
second
too.
dagger. He just wants his other dagger back.
Oh God.
Okay, so Blinken, you're alone in the bar with Schemo and Lif and Aranex. What are you doing?
I'm gonna go through my notes and scroll through a bit, flip around, and I noticed that there was something that I underlined that it said that there was a kid named Osvaldo or something like that that was dead.
Osvaldo.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I look at Schemo and kind of say, "You know about this kid that died?"
He says, "Oh yeah, Osvaldo. Yeah, about 5 years ago, the Castellanters, their firstborn son, Osvaldo, died of sickness. It was in all the papers. They had a big funeral for him and everything. Davil wanted to interrupt it, but me and Istrid talked him out of it. You know, I don't like the noble kids, but like, they haven't done anything wrong yet, you know?"
I wonder if this is linked, girl, because you know, I swear I hear something like sister, and she's going with brother. So I wonder.
Yeah,
That's
and that other noble brat, Tenzero, wasn't anywhere near there.
yeah, that's true too.
He goes, "That is really weird." He says, "Hey, can I see that notebook you have?"
Um, sure. I like hand a notebook.
He looks at it and he looks at a few of the other things you wrote down. I remember what I told you.
Hmm.
Said, "Okay, all right. Osvaldo died about 5 years ago. 5 years ago, the Castellanters weren't doing so well. I want to say it's because of us. We foiled enough of their operations that they sunk a lot of money into things that didn't work out for them. So they were actually on the back foot. A lot of their foreign land holdings were falling out of their control, and they didn't have a lot of gold coins in their vaults anymore. And then suddenly, 5 years ago, their fortunes turned around, and they became again one of the most powerful families in the deep, right after their son Osvaldo died."
Something that they made a deal with something. Has to, what, like all of a sudden, things turn around. That doesn't make sense. But what a deal! And I suddenly remember, real thing that he mentioned, Froggy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, could it correlate with what happened to Friend?
He says, "Maybe, maybe.
Something
The
has
the
happened.
deal," he says, "Look, Blanken, you've been good to me here, so I'm just gonna be honest with you. There's this devil. He calls himself the Salesman. He's been following us around our whole lives. You know, when me and Davil were younger, he would come up to us and he would make bets with us. You know, flip a coin. If we could call it in the air, he would give us bread that would last the night. And then when Istrid and Zaraj came along, we made bets with him too. And as we got older and we got more famous, the bets became bigger and bigger. We started gambling away even years of our lives just so that we could become successful. That's how we got our first show. It was a deal we made with him. We had to steal something worth 50 gold coins each and give it to him. He calls himself a deal maker. And as we got older, and as Froggy came along, he convinced us to stop working with him. He said it was dangerous. But the deal we made the night Froggy died, we were fighting Manchun. And it wasn't just Manchun, it was two other clones of Manchun, and we were down on our last legs. We didn't have any spell slots. Our health was really low. And and there he was, the deal maker, the salesman, in his little top hat and his fancy coat and his charming words. And he told us, he said, if I pick one of your souls at random to take to the hells, I'll give you back your health and spell slots. And the thing about this guy is he always tells the truth. He'll never lie to you. If he says he's gonna do something, he'll do it. So we shook his hand, and he chose Froggy's soul to take to the hells. And we got all of our strength back, and we were able to defeat Manchun and Victoro and kick them out of Kolot Towers. But Froggy was dead. Dead, dead. Didn't even have a body around for us to bury. And we couldn't resurrect him at all. That's why we need to get back to the Vault of Dragons. The salesman came to Davil and said that if we gave him a portion of the Vault of Dragons, he'd let us buy back Froggy's soul. He says, I know that we're not the only ones he was making deals with. He's attracted to powerful people, and the Castellanters are powerful. Do you think they'd be sick enough to sacrifice their oldest son for financial stability?
I mean, you said it yourself, they are pretty evil, so it's possible.
My gods. And you remember what she said, right? She said she didn't want what happened to her brother
Yeah.
to happen to her. And the Castellanters are also looking for the Vault of Dragons. But they're on the back foot. They don't know where it is because they've never held the complete stone in their hands. Only Xanathar has. You think they're going to sacrifice their other kid to learn the location of the Vault of Dragons? God, these people are sick.
And it ties in with whatever Heel was talking about. You know, killing her foils their plans. It
His
makes
vision.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, if we killed her, they wouldn't have a kid to sacrifice. Oh wait, that doesn't make sense.
Nope, I don't want to kill her.
The deal maker he'll never give you the same deal twice. He always ups the ante. Even if you say no, the next deal he makes, he'll want something more from you. So instead of one kid this time, I bet it's two kids. So if one of them was dead, they wouldn't be able to make that sacrifice. And they wouldn't be able to learn the location of the Vault of Dragons from the guy. So yeah, Heel's vision, if Elzira gets taken off the table, the Castellanters are on the back foot. And Blinken, roll a perception check on Schemo.
Yeah. Uh, 17.
For just the briefest of moments, you see him think and concentrate, and a wicked look crosses his face. He says, No, 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 we couldn't do that. We couldn't keep them on the back foot by taking their daughter off the board. That'd be sick.
We're not killing innocent people, especially children. I don't think she's like fully understanding what her family is.
But if she was talking to that voice, if she was talking to Osvaldo, she must have some idea.
I mean, they were kids once, and you would think it's probably an imaginary friend or something. So, I I think what we should do, if anything, is figure out a way to,
Save her?
yes, to like, lure her out of this situation. Totally wrong. Yeah.
He says, if we did that, I'm already on the Castellanter's bad side. But if you got involved in this, you'd be their mortal enemy, getting in the way of their goals. The Castellanters are powerful, powerful enemies to have. Are you sure you want to fuck with their plans?
I think we would need to talk to others, but personally, I think this is the right way of doing it. Um, we need to stop this somehow, one way or another, and I don't think it's right for them to, if it is in fact true that they did sacrifice their son there for their knowledge. I think it's going to happen again. Then, because they're already like, seems like they're already radicalized to continue looking on anyway. Well, so I think for the greater things we need to stop this. So, um, if they're my enemies, so be it. I don't care, but I think we should at least discuss it when they.
He says, yeah, yeah. And fuck. I tried to put it all behind me. But I think we need to find out who the salesman actually is.
Didn't I out of character? Didn't I hear or at least know Huel kept talking about this salesman too?
Yes, the salesman is the person that sold
Yeah,
Huel his
that cart.
magical repairing
Yeah.
cart. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in character, I'll be like, yeah, I'll. It's we gotta find out something. Yeah, oh, and then like you see, Blinken kind of scratching his head and kind of had this idea and say, oh yeah, I think maybe Huel might know something about that.
He says, hey man, this guy, whatever he is, he's a real slick talker. He'll always tell you the truth. He'll always honor his part of the bargain. But it's never gonna work out good for you.
Yeah.
I told
Why?
Davil to never make a deal with him again, but he went behind my back, and that's how we figured out where all the keys are.
Totally agree. I think one of two things happen: we save the girl, or we somehow figure out a way to deal with the salesman anyway. Either way, I think something bad's going to happen. The one or the other.
Schemo kind of nods in agreement, but he looks a little bit scared, as if the salesman scares him even more than the Castellanters. And he walks over to the bar, and he says, Ghost Man, your nastiest drink. I'll take it by the bottle. And Lith reaches under the bar and pulls out one of those bottles of wine that is rotten and has had the cork half removed, and he slides it over to Schemo, who pours himself a glass. All right. Going over to everyone else, y'all wanted to go back to the academy, correct?
Yes. However, I would have given Inchy his dagger back after I don't know, a block and a half.
Oh, good,
Mhm.
because and she was going to let go, like at least halfway towards destination. It's like, all right, whatever, just give me my dagger. And I guess that's when he gets his dagger back.
I would have grabbed it by the handle and tossed it away, trying to get you to chase after it.
And then she
What's
does
that?
so. He lets go, face plants in the dirt, then he scrambles back up to get his dagger. Also,
Okay.
and she doesn't follow them. He fucks off and does his own thing.
After he gets the dagger, he just runs off.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect. Uh, Okay, so this would be Huel and Thorgren, and Inchi will do you later.
Yep.
I'm gonna have you on this map, but you're not here. Okay.
Got it.
I'll just put you on the GM layer. Okay, Thorgren and Huel, you flash your or Huel, do you put back up your half-orc disguise to get into El Torchel Villa?
Yeah, it'd become the half orc.
Okay. Thorgren, what do you do to disguise yourself
I
to get in?
flash my badge.
They look
Eh,
at your badge and say, Master Dwarf, this is for some kind of half-elf named Master Grung.
Correct, and I'm his envoy. He sent me to deal with some things before he starts teaching classes in the next day or so.
Deception check DC 14.
Look, if you don't believe me, just ask that
I
fancy
don't.
butler. Ask that fancy butler what's his face. I've done some work for him before too.
There are lots of fancy butlers here in the castle ward, sir. What are you talking about?
Fuck, what's his name? Oh, wait, I have it written down in my book. 1 second.
Milton is who you're thinking of.
It is indeed Milton.
Sir Milton has left the premises, going back to Castellaneta Manor to his duties there.
Good, then you should allow me to go through with my duties.
No commoners allowed in El Torchel Villa, sir.
Commoner!
Oh, here we go.
No, okay, I'll go through with the deception check. 17.
17. Alright, you managed to sweet talk the guy and convince him that you're an envoy of this Master Grung. And he says, be quick about your business. I'm gonna say that it's like 6 o'clock now. The sun has set a bit. So it is dusk right now. What were y'all's plans?
Well,
We're
I
talking
feel like
with Thorgan, and I'm gonna be like, listen, what happened with Artie, Artificer? That could have got bad, you know?
which part of it?
I mean, if we didn't get there in time, it could have gotten worse. You get what I'm saying?
But she was with us.
I know,
And
but I'm saying if we nipped the bud, we could have prevented it, you know?
which blood are we nipping, hers or theirs?
Well, I'm thinking, hmm,
Because you're not wrong. If we did either, we could have just avoided this entire scenario.
I'm thinking, I'm gonna lean in and whisper, make sure there's nobody around, and he's gonna say, kidnap the girl.
Look, I'll do many things, okay? You know, I'll burn down someone's house, or, ambush a caravan. I've shivved a dude for looking at me weird. Not my proudest moment, but nowhere in there have I kidnapped a woman.
Not my proudest one,
Professionals
but
have standards.
exactly, but these aren't professional times. Look what we're dealing with.
Okay, so let's play into this. I actually want to play this out. What would happen
It's
if we
getting
did
late.
either?
Look, the sun's getting low. Well, I'll do this. He snaps his fingers. He casts the cantrip minor illusion.
Okay.
Make it seem like there's like a lump. Like he points to like the where are we? There's like
You're
a
walking towards
bench.
El Torchel Academy. Yeah, there's benches and stuff around.
So he points towards the bench. He makes it look like there's like a person sleeping in like a knapsack or like a blanket. It's like, see? So we'll leave
Okay,
this. We'll
so
kidnap her for the night, and we'll before the sun rises, we'll bring her back and we'll interrogate her.
okay, except for the fact that she's not here.
She's not here.
She is
No, she
at
went
her
back home with the
house,
Castellantas.
Castellanter Villa.
and we came here to look for the musical instrument and get some information regarding it. If we wanted to kidnap her, that's something you should have said on the way here after we lost Inchi. So we could
No,
have
that's
taken the
exactly
right turn.
that's why
I
I
mean,
waited until he left to
the
say anything.
Castellanter's house is in the same ward. It's close by.
Oh, I thought we were
It'll-
already at the school. That's my bad.
I mean, it's close by the school.
You should have just used the minor illusion to fart again.
Okay.
Be more
Yeah,
so,
that's what it's
useful.
for, actually.
so do you want to go kidnap her and just not look for the musical instrument?
I mean, one, it'd stop whatever the Castellaners are planning, and two,
Oh, wait, hold up. Are you just planning on killing her?
no.
Insight, motherfucker.
Go ahead, insight me.
20.
Oh God.
Oh no.
Huel, are you planning on killing this child?
No, no. Honestly, you'll see. Like even thinking back to the artificer when you got those visions. Like he was trying to help her out and save it. You know, he's taking
Yeah, y'all.
precautionary measures to like make sure this kid doesn't get hurt or gets used in this plot, whatever they're doing.
Oh,
Yeah,
so you
y'all
want
have.
to kidnap her to protect her?
Make sure the Castellaners don't try what they're getting their hands dirty with.
Um, I have a question for continuity. Do I
Okay.
know that he talks to a demon? Does Thorogrin know that?
Y'all don't know that he's a demon. You
You just
know
know
that
that he
this
was a
person.
salesman.
Yeah, the person that sold Huel this cart appears to be like magical and kind of shady, but I mean, he sold Huel a cart and like has honored every deal he's made with Huel. You know that little Inchi the Raven works for whoever the salesman is,
Okay,
and
do
you
we?
also know that Destry was afraid of the salesman.
Okay. Final question. Do I know that he was told to do this by him, or
Huel told you that he had a vision similar to how he had a vision
okay?
of the artificer. I have not had little Inchi or the salesman do it themselves. He just got a vision one night.
Okay. So Huel, you
Aye.
say you want to protect her. I believe you. But are you sure there's nothing in there going, the bad voice told me to do this?
He scratched his
Like,
head. He's in the big orc form too for now. He's not like his halfling form. He's like, I'm pretty sure.
I also love to vision this as like we're walking through the school hallway. There's no students, no teachers. We're just having
No,
this conversation in the open.
Yeah.
getting into the school at night is going to be its own thing. Y'all haven't tried to enter the school yet.
Okay. So, okay. Which
It's
would
up
you
to you
rather
though,
do?
Thorgan.
Do you want to go into the school or do you want to try to kidnap her now tonight?
Maybe we discuss with Blinken and Inchi first before we commit crime.
Are
Yeah,
you
y'all
sure?
also don't have to feel rushed. Elzira mentioned that her father wants her to perform at the talent show, which is in 3 weeks. So do not feel rushed.
Yeah.
I'm giving y'all time to plan.
Yeah, he'll click in and remember that. Like, oh, it's 3 weeks. We'll talk with Blinken. Nothing's gonna happen overnight.
Okay,
Let's
so
go investigate your lead there with
yeah,
the.
let's go to the school then. All right. So I'm also gonna hand Huel the badge, like the hall pass,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I guess we'll head on down to the school.
All right. Y'all walk up to the school. The sun continues to set. You notice that there's more drift globes here than there are in other parts of the city. They cast a soft yellow or white light wherever they are. There are also street lamps lit by oil that are lit by the Street Lighters Guild, as well, or actually, no, not in this area. It would all be done by noble servants. There are also torches along the path, plenty of spaces to rest and such. There are people milling about. They have their business. There is the cleaners guild, or the cleaners that come and clean parts of El Torchel Academy, uh, and El Torchel Museum and other things in the villa. There is also a college here that Dr. Cassie Daniels taught at, so there are, young adults milling about, drinking. You see a couple people clearly on a date and stuff, and you walk up to El Torchel Academy for young nobles, and you see that out front the doors are shut, and standing right in front of them is a member of the Griffin Cavalry. It is a city watch in special golden armor, sitting atop a griffin that is laying in front of the doors to El Torchel Academy. What do you want to do?
All right, we're gonna play this one as we did last time.
Give him the nod. Of course.
All right. So Hewell and I walk up.
Okay, give me a second. I gotta pee. And then we'll play for a few more minutes and we're gonna call it, okay?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Alright, I'm back. Hey, real quick question. Did y'all walk here? It would have been about 15 minutes, or did you take Huel's magic cart here?
Could have took the card
Uh,
to save time.
sure.
All right, so you park the cart, and Huel, as y'all step out of it, you remember the man that sold it to you, the very nice, charming man who gave you a really good deal. You just pay 150 gold coins and 25 coin installments every week, and he gave you little Inchi to ensure that you pay your bills on time. But you haven't seen little Inchi at all today. He wasn't there when you woke up, and he hasn't flown up to you and suggested you do something wicked at all. Do you miss him at all?
He's thinking about him on the cart ride over. I wonder where that little bird is.
Hmm. Yeah, you remember the last thing little Inchi told you was that the salesman wanted to sell you a horse so that you wouldn't have to rent one every day from the yawning portal to be able to get around the city. And that plays in the back of your mind. But y'all get out, you walk up to the school, you notice that the doors are closed and this Griffin cavalry rider and his Griffin are guarding the door. What do you do?
I'm gonna take the lead and walk on up with Hewell behind us, me, and just stare at the guy as if I'm expected to be let in.
He says, Sir, what have your business here at El Tortural Academy? It will have to wait till morning when it is open again. Once the doors are shut for the evening, I am to open them for no one except Lady Faya or the Black Staff herself.
What about staff and associates?
If you live inside the school, then you should have been here before the doors closed. Again, because of increased security and worries about goblin attacks and ruby rabbits, this school is closed until daybreak, even for staff.
Even new hires that didn't know.
Especially new hires who didn't know. If he was supposed to be here, someone would have told you to be here. We take the security of the noble children very seriously.
Good.
Yes. The griffin that he's on, like, looks at you and, like, clicks its beak.
I mean, surely we wouldn't cause any nuisance. Everyone's gone home. Everything's closed. I mean, sitting there for a second upon your magnificent beast, I could have sworn you almost looked like a gold dragon. I'm gonna like try to bribe him.
Oh, yeah?
If Thorgan like is cool, like if he catches what I'm putting down, if not,
you can put down as much as you want, buddy.
The griffin cavalry rider, like, pets the griffin and says, "You hear that, Beakley? We look like a gold dragon together." The guard clearly thinks you're talking about an actual gold dragon. If you want to bribe him, maybe you need to be more specific. Bribery of a guard is illegal in Waterdeep.
I know that's why I'm being very careful of how I word it.
Yeah, I'm just reminding you.
Do you want me just to tell him?
Yeah, Thorgan,
Okay.
go ahead.
I'm gonna take 10. I'm gonna take a 5-foot step back, so I can get a
Mhm.
better angle at his face, because he's on top of the griffin.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to bribe you. Ready, action,
Cut.
dash.
Bill's just standing there.
He puts his hand on his sword and he says, "Well, how much are you trying to bribe me with?"
You know,
Mr. Moneybags?
5 gold dragons. Let us go in and grab our things we forgot, and then we'll be on our way.
He looks at the 5 gold dragons, and he sighs and rolls his eyes, and he says, "Listen, fellas, you're clearly from outside of the city, but I make more than that in a week. I do not need your money. I need to guard these nobles. Now, be upon your way. If you truly have business here, come by in the morning and take care of it. But do not, ever, try to bribe a member of the City Watch, much less the Griffin Cavalry. And thank gods above that I am not one of the Castellanta's personal guards."
Thank you, my good sir. We'll keep that in mind.
He
What can
kind
I
of like
tell?
he kicks his heels into the griffin, and the griffin stops laying on the ground and stands up to like its full height, which is like the griffin itself is 8 feet, and then this person is pretty tall, so they're standing like they're about 10 feet off the ground. They look very imposing, and the griffin stretches out its wings, and it's wider than the double doors itself, and it goes.
Can I look at the griffin from where I'm at and see if there's anything wrong with it?
Yeah, sure.
What would that be?
Perception check. DC 10.
Oh, crit 24.
Oh, crit 24. All right. So looking at this griffin, you notice that it has a fancy leather saddle that goes around its wings and its chest. You notice that there is some scarring around where those straps are, as if the straps have been on it too tight or as if it's tried to resist before. And also in the back of your mind, you remember it's uncommon to see griffins on the ground here in Waterdeep, as the scent of horses that travel the city will drive griffins into a frenzy. And they don't have any horses here at El Tortle Academy. They've probably forbade horses just to be able to keep this griffin here guarding the school.
That's a mighty fine beast you got there, buddy.
Yeah, Beaksley and I have been riding together over the city for 5 years. He's getting pretty old, though, so fortunately we were able to get this guard duty on the ground. Maybe some rest and relaxation will do the old man good. And he scratches the griffin at its little crick in its neck, and the griffin pulls away slightly, as if it doesn't like being treated like a pet.
So you know how noble these creatures can be, right?
He goes, "Griffins are some of the most majestic creatures I've ever seen."
Then pardon uh if I overstep, but you know they don't like being treated like pets.
He
It's
says,
no different if I were to treat you like a pet to them.
uh, he like smirks smugly at you at the idea of you treating him like a pet. And he says, "Old Beaksley here and all his brothers and sisters have been specifically bred for the Griffin cavalry. Beaksley here himself is a fourth generation Griffin. He is happy to serve the city of Waterdeep, and he obeys my commands."
Okay. It sounds like you and him have a strong partnership. So, I know a couple people who could get you very specific items regarding your griffin, if you are unable to acquire them via other means. I
What items would I need that the City Watch or Force Grey does not already provide me? He seems like
well,
kind of intrigued. Not that this is gonna work, but that he kind of wants to see what you're gonna say.
how well, I guarantee that your griffin could be jealous of you because you have the option daily to go out and get your to
Yes.
get your
Mm-hmm.
metaphorical beak
Good.
wet,
Mm-hmm.
and your griffin does not. Not saying that I know of a griffin breeder. If, say, you wanted to have your very own griffin, or have one given to your son, or present it as a gift. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Insert
Oh, no way.
background
You
feature.
actually have this? Oh, shit.
So, if you wanted to either make some very, very big bucks, as some would say, I could introduce you to someone who could get your griffin's beak wet if you want.
Jeez.
So you're offering him like a baby griffin.
I'm offering to introduce him. Sorry, I'm dying. I am offering to introduce him to somebody who could set that up.
That,
I'm
my
offering to be a
friend,
middleman.
Hell
that,
yeah.
my friend, is a curveball I was not expecting.
That is awesome.
That's fucking sick. Very nice. So I'm gonna give you advantage on a persuasion check. I'm not saying you'll get into the school tonight, but if you do good on
Yeah.
this persuasion check, this guard will like remember you, and if you actually follow through on this, you might be able to bribe him with this.
So here's the persuasion of 10. Shit.
Oh
Oh
wow.
shit, dog.
Could I
Oh, absolutely. You could help out, Huel.
this is gonna be kind of odd. I was gonna bardic inspiring, but could I use my feature of cutting words instead, like make him re-roll the thing? Because the the bardic inspiration only adds 1d8 to it.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. Before we decide to do that, haven't you said that you've given us inspiration before?
I definitely have.
I
And
have
y'all
never
have.
used inspiration, nor do I know how much I have.
Well, you can only have one.
Okay.
I said if y'all complete the wicked actions that are over on the side here, I would let you stack inspiration. But just for
Okay.
character stuff, you only have the one.
Okay. Could I use my inspiration?
Absolutely, that's what it's there for.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's performance. I'm way too fucking high for this right now. 14.
All right, there you go. He looks at you and he looks intrigued. He says, "Well, my friend, that just seems like big talk. But the way you say it, you seem pretty confident. Yeah, I would like to have my own griffin. I'll tell you what, if you could show me some proof that you could follow through with it, maybe, maybe I could get you in one of these side doors here."
All right. What was her name again? Just so I can know who to find.
My name is actually Griffin McElroy.
All right.
I'm just gonna like flat face stare at him.
Yeah, I
I'm
know
waiting
it's
for the
funny.
punchline.
I know it is its own punchline.
Okay.
He says, "Yes, it is my real name. I promise
Yep.
you.
That is okay. Everyone has
My
there's
name is
meaning to every.
Griffin. This is Beaksley."
Well, it's better than him being named Mammal.
There actually is an older female griffin named Mammal.
So
Okay,
I
so he's not gonna let you through tonight, but if you bring this contact or bring proof of it, maybe on a different night he'd let you do something. But he takes his job very seriously, and I think I've said many times that in this campaign in Waterdeep, guards are not going to be easily bribable.
it's okay. I know a guy who might know a guy.
Fantastic.
Pulled that background
Uh,
feature out of my ass. You weren't ready for that shit.
I was not ready for that shit. That was sick, dude. I want to see where this subplot goes. Okay, so it seems like you're not getting into the school tonight. What would y'all like to do now? And then we'll go to Inchi, and then we'll end the game.
Okay.
And I suppose we'll head back to the
Well,
manor.
I was gonna say I didn't come here without contacts because it'd be dumb to go somewhere without knowing a guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, how about you learn the art of back alley dealing? We're gonna go and look for for a contact to use for that.
All right, we'll pick that up next session then.
But
Mm-hmm.
if we also happen to walk by Zoblaw's,
Mm-hmm.
kind of want to burn that shit down.
Okay, that's in the docks ward, to the south of the city. You're in the north of the city right now. It would take you about 30 minutes to walk there, 15 minutes by cart ride.
You want to go to the dock ward?
I think we could. We do have a little bit of time left.
Y'all
Yeah.
could also scope out Castle Enter Manor. You're in the same neighborhood.
I feel like we should go down to the dock district.
Yeah, I'm feeling arson tonight.
I'm feeling arson.
All right. Let's go to Inchi. Inchi, Thorgrim gave you your dagger back after about 5 minutes of you annoying him, and then you walked off and did your own thing. What did you go to do?
Well, you see, since it's late, and I kind of forced myself into a situation that doesn't interact with the rest of the party,
Mm-hmm.
I'd be willing to walk into the night with suspenseful orchestra Game of Thrones like music surrounding my exit as I walk off and prepare for it to do it next session because it's kind of
Oh
late.
yeah,
Okay, yeah, man. If you
that
want to
works.
end, we can absolutely end. But could you tell me what you would want to do, or do you need to think about what you
I
would
can
want
play.
to
No,
do?
I can play it out if you want. It's just like I said, I forced myself into a situation alone, and it's late. I didn't want to keep the others. If y'all would just want me to play it out, I can.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just a couple minutes, like set it up, and then that lets me think about how to start next session.
Okay, so as the orchestra music, crescendos, and she leaves the city into the woods, and he proceeds to his home, his village of his goblin family, who are not inbred, I might add, because all y'all were saying they're inbred.
Did we say that?
Brax did, I think.
I didn't.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure he did.
I
That
think
sounds
that
like
just
something
came from
Brax
your
would
own head,
say.
man. Sound very
Not even
defensive there.
Brax.
Because they're not. Anyway,
Okay.
So on one hand, it doesn't sound familiar, but on the other hand, it does sound like something Brax would say.
What?
It does sound like something Brax would say.
What?
That
Nothing.
Inchi's village is a bunch of inbred goblins.
it was like from session
Yeah,
5, so yeah, you're like,
100%.
Yeah, you say he said.
Okay, all right.
Doesn't deny it. uh,
anyway,
Goblins are canonically inbred.
and she just walks into his village in the middle of the night, trying to find his
All
mother.
right. Inchi, it takes you like about an hour to get there. The sun has completely set, the moon is rising, the stars are shining in the sky. But even that light doesn't reach your village because the forest is so thick. You follow the path that your family has made after being here for generations, and you notice what Victoro said about the trees. They're so thick, they're so hardy. Even some of your family has made like really strong and sturdy tree houses by nailing planks of wood into these trees. And you've always loved how big they are. You feel like so small and so protected inside this big forest. How do you feel about the idea of it all being cut down, to make wood for nobles?
If Inchi is like thinking about it directly, he hates that idea. A couple of
Mm-hmm.
those little quote unquote treehouse like ordeals. He's at least climbed up and looked around and admired the view of his village from above, and he likes everything about his village, and he does not want to see it torn down.
You go to your village and you expect it to be kind of like chill. It's late at night, all the chores are done. Everybody's had their soup and their bath in the river if they want to take one. You expect that you'd get there and it would be quiet and peaceful. But everybody, all 60 members of your village, they are around a fire and they are yelling and they are cheering. And your mom is standing up on a platform around the fire. These things that y'all only use for like performances or big speeches. And she's saying, "These people want to come into our home and take it from us after generations of us living here, of us making our lives here, not hurting anyone, not harming anyone, trading with the nearby outlying farms. We are good people. We do good things here, and we're not gonna let some noble come and take it all away from us just because of a piece of paper that was signed 200 years ago. No, no, Soup Village belongs to us." And you see that on this platform, there are two figures. There's Sinesh of Thresh, the frog person that you talked to earlier who made you hallucinate when you touched his skin. And also, there's the turtle, Thromstroker Cause, who is looking out over this group of 60 goblins that are all riled up and radicalized, and he is smiling in a wicked way. And that is where we're going to leave it for tonight.
All right.
Okay.
oh yeah.
I definitely want to see that recording and she was going to pick up right as the speech ends, but that will be a thing for next session.
Yep. Yep.
Want to remind you all that next week is WrestleMania.
Fuck
Um,
yeah.
so that's 4:20 Easter WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
that's a Sunday, not a
yes,
Saturday.
it's on both nights.
It's like all weekend.
Yeah,
Oh,
Friday,
it's on both
Saturday,
nights.
sick,
Sunday, Monday.
So it's a Saturday night and a Sunday night.
sick.
Different matches, obviously, but that's going to be next week, and then maybe shortly after we'll make another episode of my little podcast that I've posted. So you should all check that out if you haven't yet. We don't just talk about wrestling; we talk about nerdy, geeky stuff, pop culture, video games, and all that shit.
Yeah, it was cool. I liked
Yeah,
it.
I thought the format was good. I want to try within 2 to 3 hours per show. I think that's a good enough podcast. So that's the thing there. And then tomorrow night is probably a good thing because tomorrow night is the new season of The Last of Us on HBO. So I need
Oh,
to
sick.
watch that, and that might be part of the topic too because I know Count. Technically, he hasn't played the games, so it'll be fun to see what he thinks about it. So yeah, I'll go ahead and send a raid to somebody here, and we'll be on next time. And of course, I'll upload this recording on YouTube, so you'll see that as well. Let's see, who do I want to raid? Ooh, here's one guy
Okay,
I
wait.
haven't seen in
Are
a
we
while.
skipping
Yeah.
next week's session then for the
Yes.
WWE thing?
I was
Yes.
gonna
Yes.
ask actually, does anyone oppose of us playing on a different date next week? That way we still get our session in.
I could do Friday, but I'm also fine with skipping a week.
Yeah, I'm okay either way. I was just putting it out there to see if anyone's.
Thing is, for me, in 2 weeks, I plan to skip to continue my own campaign. So I will have to skip 2 Saturdays from now. And I mean, I'm kind of in a situation, since I'm away from the city, where I can kind of miss out on a session or two. I think, but in 2 weeks, that's when I plan to skip.
Okay, so I'll just put it out there. Does anybody want to play next Friday?
I mean,
I'd be willing.
if everybody commits to it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Kirby?
I mean, if I don't think I have anything else going on that day.
All right, so we will aim for Friday the 18th for the next session of Wicked City.
Okay.
Okay.
All
Alright.
right, fantastic, guys. This was a great session. I had a lot of fun. Very fun interviews, very fun side stories. I can't wait to see where it all goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'll raid my friend here. His name is Grims. He's streaming New World, and we'll go from there next week. Then later.
Later.
All right. So, Mike,